What do you think you are doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
And again, it's picked up. It's Darius Leonard, a pick six for the Maniac. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. Yes, sir.
Sabonis down the lane with authority.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, appreciate you. Thank you, Kevin Bowen. Yesterday did an outstanding job per usual as I was driving around Bloomington. Hey, quick shout out to John Surdam and Dr. Mast and Angie Hipskin down there who helped out my mom a great deal. That is awesome, which is fantastic, and I absolutely love it. But no, they did a great job. I got to go to Blooming Foods. I hadn't been in Blooming Foods in Bloomington in forever. Well done by me right there. And shout out to Fisher Farm and Jasper, who apparently is going to bring some meat. I love places of meat. You know that. So shout out to Fisher Farms down in Jasper, who got a hold of Kev, then they got a hold of me, and it is all good. I think you can get it up here as well. I'll explain a little bit later on. Hey, welcome into the show. We are busy. Hall of Famer, former Colts running back Marshall Faulk will join us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Bowen's going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour. I thought I might as well go ahead and address this because I noticed when I got home last night that I had a lot of people via social media saying, hey, what about this luck thing? And let me start by telling you this. Is that not, what is that, my nostril or something? Oh, it's all good. Yeah, we got to get my best profile, the best side of my face. I will always say this, that I'm not one that views like scoops or news gathering. Like, I don't think that me or anybody else that does it will always get it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't look at something and go, well, that guy is not in the media, therefore he wouldn't know. Oftentimes, people outside the media know well before anybody else. Just by circumstance, by chance, maybe by knowing somebody. But, you get back to this luck stuff. I will also say this, Mike Austin, who started this with that tweet that had the friend of, supposedly here, allegedly, the friend of Andrew Luck's wife, and Andrew Luck's wife talking to the friend about this, and then mentioned a meeting with Jim Irsay of the Colts coming up tomorrow. I will tell you this, 7 years ago, that Mike Austin, he got tattooed with JMV sucks. That's that Mike Austin right there. Check it out, seriously. And Mike will, more than just occasionally, be listening and tweeting. He did not send me that yesterday. I think he sent it to Jeff in the morning. But I'm fully prepared for it. I am fully prepared for it because it is a quarterback scramble, because nobody is happy right now, and because you have to have one, and because the owner has suggested a couple of things, and that's why we were kind of poking fun at Kevin Bowen last Thursday, when Jim met with the local media via Zoom, and, Kevin was the one that asked about Andrew Luck, and I said this last week, you have to ask about Andrew Luck because the Colts don't have a quarterback, and the dude still is around here. You got to ask. And we made fun of him, and rightly so, but you have to ask. That was his job, to ask. But listen, I don't know if that's real. I don't know if Mike and Mike's friend of whatever is relatable, and that is real. All I know is this, and I'm always completely honest with you, and I don't have to tell you every minute that I'm honest with you because you guys know it. I don't have to solidify it. I don't have to etch it in stone. I don't have to tell you every 5 minutes or play the victim or whine and cry. No, you guys know. I have not heard a damn thing about it. And really, I have told you all I have heard about the quarterback position. Now, I'm going to add a little something to that a little bit later on. I'm going to layer that up just a tad, just a little bit, a smidge. and we shall see. But I've told you all that I did know. I gave you the names that I knew. I gave you the fact that maybe they're in a position right now where they may try to trade up. I've told you that over there that they like Justin Fields a great deal. I made you aware that if they thought that they could get up there, maybe that would be the play. Nothing about Andrew Luck. It's just like last week. Nothing about Andrew Luck last week and nothing about Matthew Stafford last week. As I told you on Monday, I was surprised to even hear anything come from Peter King and then Albert Breer about, allegedly what the Colts offered up that was uninspiring ultimately to the Lions from Matthew Stafford because, Albert Breer said they didn't even offer up a first-round pick. I think he said a third-rounder and an already established player. But I didn't hear anything. I almost came to the conclusion, as I told you on Monday as well, that just maybe the Colts found out what they were going to be up against, knowing Brad Holmes was coming over for the Rams, knowing what they were going to be up against, that maybe you just didn't do too much, if anything, about it. Ballard didn't go down to Cabo and hang out with McVay and Stafford or anything like that. So I just thought, maybe they did come to the conclusion that there was no way in the world they're going to have enough or they wouldn't be going that high. And, ultimately having interest is one thing, but it's not putting a lot of time and effort into something that wasn't going to happen. That's kind of where we left it. Still, however, they need a quarterback. Still, however, and he's here and he's in his early 30s, and that's always going to be the case. So nothing against Kevin for asking. Nothing against anybody that thinks they have information for floating it out there. I mean, hell, it's kind of our job to figure it out whether or not it's true. I will tell you this. I would be inspired if it were true. And I don't have anything against these national newsbreakers that have it each and every time. I will tell you this, and this is not me because I'm not a newsbreaker. I am, a talk show host. And I get told things because people trust me, and then I'll pass them along to you. Sometimes I don't tell you everything because I don't want to put anybody in a mess or anything like that. But, I try to share as much as I can with you. But, I'm not trying out there to break stories or anything like that. I'm just talking about it. And ultimately, we'll talk about those stories that somebody else breaks. And normally, it's going to be those nationally. And I will tell you that I wouldn't mind if somebody like Mike Austin would have a scoop over Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind it. I'm not suggesting he does. I'm not telling you that he does. But if he did, then so be it. I think that'd be great. Listen, these guys get paid, and they're very good at what they do, even though you know that Schefter and I don't get along, and I don't like him. That doesn't make him any less fantastic at what he does at his gig. It just kind of makes him a little pipsqueakish to me, but it doesn't take anything away from me. He's still the best out there next to Adrian Wojnarowski at getting absolutely everything. I respect that, I do. And I have nothing against that. But, yeah, deep down inside, would it be hilarious to me if, like, Mike Austin would end up having that over everybody that gets paid to track down those stories? Yeah, sure. Sure. Have I heard it? No. Therefore, if I haven't heard it, do I believe it? Nah. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't love it to happen. It'd be great. I can see ESPN right now sourcing Mike Austin. Well, that'd be great. So that I wouldn't have a problem with. But for those of you asking, I have not heard a damn thing. Nothing. I'd be shocked if I ever heard a damn thing. And then before we get into, well, what would have to happen for this and that, too much for us to go over right now. I mean, too much for us to go over right now. Would it be great? You need a quarterback, and he's a quarterback. I mean, on the surface, yes, it would be great, but it would seem like that you would have to mend a fence or two Because it's not like you bailed before March where a team had time to figure out what they were doing. I mean, you dumped this squad at the dance. The Colts 2 years ago, they knew what Napoleon Dynamite felt like going to that dance. Just dump, gone. That's it. So I'm hoping that it's accurate, but do I believe that it is? No. Have I heard that it is? Absolutely not. So hopefully that answers your questions, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot more of them, and that is okay. You're also asking me if maybe the Colts would have some interest in Derek Carr. Again, it's not like last year. I mean, you just can't go out and wow somebody with your charm and your cash and your checkbook and your situation and your past relationship. I mean, you got to see some dominoes fall before you can even think about doing that. Yeah, I know. John Gruden, Mike Mayock said last week that he was really happy with Derek Carr in Vegas. I don't know if John Gruden has said the same. Mayock went pretty far with that, who runs all the football operations over there, makes all the decisions. But he said he was happy with it. Now, if you thought you could, and if you wanted to, you're in Vegas, and if Houston felt cornered and had to do something about it, and Deshaun Watson, hell yes, you would in a minute try to do something like that. I don't know if that automatically means that he becomes available. I mean, I know that notoriously John Gruden talks about how he's okay with quarterbacks and then ultimately he doesn't like his quarterback. And I don't care about that either. But it's just a lot of dominoes have to fall before you can legitimately talk about it. Would it be great? I mean, over what they have right now? Yes. Yes. I think people would be okay with that. You know, over the alternatives that I've talked about. I mean, think about this for a moment. We're in what, the third day of February, and the big-time squeeze has been put on the quarterback position in the NFL. I mean, the big-time squeeze. And you're even more, how should I put this? Is this a word? You're even more squozing. I don't think it's a word, but it is in my world. You're a little more squozing when you're a team that doesn't have a quarterback, or doesn't have a left tackle, by the way, but doesn't have a quarterback, but is said to be ready-made to challenge for an AFC title. Because they sure as hell do not look the part right now. Well, they're a quarterback away. Well, which quarterback? Derek Carr punt them over the top? I mean, again, you have to have dominoes fall your way. You know, otherwise you guys are all laughing. Otherwise you guys are thinking about my Vols conversations here. You're not liking it. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today, and he said, you know, if they had to, or if they end up having to settle, because I think it was Greg, and I talked to Greg a lot, and we kind of bounce stuff off of one another. You know, I talked to a lot of people before this show, just kind of bounce ideas off of them, and I really do appreciate it. It kind of gets me prepared for a little back and forth conversation. I don't come in here cold. It's kind of like me, the way I warm up for hoop. It's like me leaning against the wall and stretching out my calves for like 2 seconds. That's what I do. Wait a minute, are you guys going to stretch? Yeah, I'm stretching over here. I'm leaning against the wall and stretching my calves out. So basically I do that, and I'm throwing some stuff out there, and the response was, and I've said this before too, I've asked the question, if they're unable to find a legitimate quarterback option in 2021, for Chris Ballard, is that an unforgivable error? Is it unforgivable? I would look at it as such, but the owner won't. And it doesn't mean, who cares what I think about it, right? But the owner won't. I mean, the owner is buying into, and again, you can't make that judgment until you see the end result. Now, we can throw around hypotheticals and scenarios all day long. Well, would you feel that way if it were Derek Carr? Probably not. Would you feel that way if it were Justin Fields? Probably not. Would you feel that way if it were Mac Jones? Probably so. I'm just guessing. Would you feel that way if it were Jacoby Brissett or Nick Foles or Ryan Fitzpatrick? Probably so. So it depends on what that final decision is, but that does not keep us from having the conversation in the first place, which you have to. I mean, it's big-time NFL, big-time Colts fan market, and you guys want to know, and there's nobody about waiting for decisions and answers, and I get it. We want to talk about those answers before those answers are even set in stone, and I get it. And that's what it's always going to be about. And it makes it interesting. I mean, if not, we're, Louisville? What the hell are we talking about there? Noodling? Louisville Cardinal basketball and noodling. So, hell, I want to be better than that. So, anyway, that's where we are right now. And we'll talk about over the course of the afternoon. You know, part of the issue is, and why I have been an advocate and then laughed at, scoffed at, and I don't blame you, because sometimes I kind of look in the mirror and I'll scoff at myself occasionally too. When I've been an advocate of moving Quentin Nelson to left tackle, I mean, I think now you guys can understand why. I mean, to try to keep some of these options open that you're going to need. I mean, how are they going to go about filling some of these gaps, this championship in the AFC worthy team? That doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it on paper. I think you can also understand now why, even if you were against it, and me at the time thinking this, that, you know, Phillip Rivers, you saw in that Buffalo game, you need a guy that can take him down the field. Field goal range for a potential game winner that I'm sure Hot Rod would have missed, maybe. But, I mean, position nonetheless, right? I mean, you do your job. Or a touchdown, final drive touchdown. And I just kind of felt that Rivers was past that in his career. But when you look at some of these options out there, there's probably a lot of you right now would suggest asking Phillip Rivers if he would unretire or de-retire. Because you'd probably take that over some of these options that have been flaunted out there so far. And I don't blame you. I mean, he had a good year and a year that they expected. I have a tough time judging and figuring out exactly the type of situation this team is going to be in at this position compared to what Jim Irsay talked about in that veteran vision or that veteran presence last Thursday. I would also tell you this. I don't think that the Colts could have came up with anything that might have, been the difference maker in a deal for Stafford. But you would have to think that they just didn't, right? Just didn't have one option here. Oh, okay, well, this price tag's too high, so I guess it's Nick Foles. It's like Risky Business. Remember in Risky Business when Tom Cruise was trying to, he had all the hookers over to his place and his classmates were all getting down and they were making some money, right? And then the guy from Princeton came over and, interviewed him because he wanted to go to Princeton. And then after the interview, he said, well, it looks like the University of Illinois. Well, it looks like Nick Foles. I mean, you may end up in that situation. It may be a Colt situation. Speaking of the University of Illinois, IU, it hasn't worked and it's not going to work. I mean, with their head coach, it hasn't worked and it will not work. I mean, you think about other teams that have had coaching changes and where they are, and then where you look at IU, and, we've talked about this before. I mean, it's one thing to lose games and to be upset and to shake your fist and to pound a table and to go to social media and kind of do the same and get on your keyboard and start pecking away. It's another when people tell you that they would rather watch anything else on TV than an IU basketball game, which is so far beyond what I've ever heard anybody say in my life. It's amazing. you know, I've seen this movie before, so I don't even care to watch it. I mean, that's the apathy that sets in. I mean, that's even longer term damaging, right? Than what this team is incapable of doing right now with its head coach. You've had ample time, ample opportunity. I don't know what else to share. I mean, what's this big unveiling? Is there something here behind door number 3 that's going to turn the table? God, what is that cliche that I hate? Nah, it's not the word narrative. That's what people use, and they try to sound smarter, but they're still kind of dumb anyway. Narrative. I never use that. I just kind of just tell you from the outset, I'm stupid, and I don't have a deep vocabulary of about 12 words. I don't know, 15 or 20 cuss words. That's about it. But that cliche is, it is what it is. That perfectly describes what IU basketball is right now. It is what it is. I mean, it is the same thing over and over and over. And if you watched that game last night, you knew the ending. It's like when we sit down and watch The Fugitive. I mean, you know how this thing is going to end. I thought you didn't care. Taking the handcuffs off Harrison Ford. That's how it ends. You know how it's going to end. And that's where it is. It is what it is. And I hate using that cliche, but that's exactly right. I don't know how you go about doing it. I mean, unless you just cut the cord. But, I mean, sitting on your hands and waiting for something to happen that just simply isn't and won't. And then creating by virtue of that just the apathy of all these longtime IU folks that I see that, you know, we're talking about cutting the cord for cable or cutting the cord for satellite TV or whatever. I mean, you got IU fans of this cutting the cord and not watching anymore. I mean, just an apathetic fan base going on right now. I mean, you're shaking your fist, and that's great, but I just don't know where else there is to go. How much longer do you wait? Last night was another example of that. Well, we'll talk about that if you like it. 239-1070. Boilermakers didn't have a great night either. They lost on the road in Maryland by a point. Butler made it interesting. I mean, really interesting at the end. Alas, their lack of shooting through most of that game helped unplug them. And then shout out to the Pacers. I will say this. The Pacers did last night exactly what the Pacers needed and should have done. And leave no doubt. So you had Memphis coming here. Memphis has been a good team. Memphis was, top 2 in defense? Whatever that means. Top 2 and top 5 now, but top 2. But the Pacers coming off a Sunday game that was embarrassing. It was a gagger. I mean, it was a game without Joel Embiid, and you're up 20, and you're at home in front of 15 people, whatever. You have to put away. And I don't care if you are missing guys. You have to put them away. You can't have some dude named Cork Moss kick your ass in your own building in front of 15 people. You can't have that happen. But when it does happen, what you have to do is you have to bring that thing back next game and leave no doubt, which is exactly what they did. And I know all the excuses. Memphis was on the second of a back-to-back, and that is tough. Again, what that does is magnify exactly what the Pacers did last night and what should have been done last night. They did to that team what they should have ended up doing to Philly without Embiid. But they did to that Memphis team last night at Bankers Life Fieldhouse what they needed to do, what they should have done to them. And, man, it was everybody. I mean, everybody was on board that thing last night. Domas, Brogdon, Holiday, Miles. I'm going to leave somebody out, but, I mean, it was everybody. And that's exactly what you needed. I mean, you're in some tough tough waters to navigate right now. You got the Bucks coming up later on tonight. And, in fact, I mean, if you're Milwaukee, I mean, you're probably looking at this as an opportunity because they haven't played great so far. And listen, I completely understand that really the NBA, you look around the landscape, and the NBA has been maybe the biggest crapshoot we have seen outside of the Orlando bubble, which was a glorified AAU tournament, but maybe still the biggest crapshoot we have seen because you don't know what you're going to get. It's like watching my fifth-grade girls. I have no idea what I'm going to get. I put this out the other day. This is so true, and I love my fifth-grade girls, and they know it. I love them. But I can't, like 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, I have no idea. It's like Forrest Gump. Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to have no idea. We could score 30-plus, or we could give up 30-plus, or we could score in single digits. I have zero idea. And really, you look around the NBA landscape this year, and even for those so-called front-running NBA caliber finals champion types of teams, it's been that way too. It's just been different. And I think, honestly, it makes it more entertaining. I mean, I think everybody always wants that dynamic, that team to beat, set-in-stone team to beat. And Philly has certainly risen to the top so far in the East to be that type of team, and the Lakers out West, and Utah was on a great run. But it's more of a mixed bag than I can remember it, and it's been fun to watch. I love watching it, night in and night out. Even when the Pacers on, I'm going to set in and watch an NBA game because it has been a hell of a time. That level of basketball, no matter what, is still the most fun for me. As somebody that loves basketball as much as I do, I love watching it. Now, I like making fun of stuff, too. I like making fun of reviews and officiating. The best of the world, that's mine. Well, actually, it started with Boyle, and then I kind of took it and make fun of it all. The best in the world? Aren't these guys the best in the world? Oh, yeah, best in the world, all right. I'm sure that they are, but, you can have some fun with it too. But now it has been a fun season to date. And watching the Pacers last night do exactly what they needed and should have done. It would be nice if they went to Milwaukee and gave the Bucks a little bit of resistance later on tonight. But last night was what was necessary. And again, Domas had a great night. Miles had a great night. Well, Miles had 22 and 11 and 5 blocks. I got a stat regarding Miles because, I'm touting Miles all the time to give you a little bit later on, too, so you can listen up for that. And, again, we got your Pacer coverage coming up later on this evening. Kevin Bowen in the 5 o'clock hour. Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk is going to join us coming up today at 4:05. 239-1070. Email address is jmv at 1070thefan.com. Shows on Twitter at jmv1070. You can find me in the lounge on YouTube Live. I have yet to log in, but I'm sure the conversation is a smoking right now inside the lounge, so you can join us again. YouTube Live, The Ride with JMV. We are loaded up and we are ready to go at 239-1070. Your calls, emails, tweets, messages, carrier pigeon, snail mail, paper airplane, however you want to get it, you can get it here. 93.5, 107.5 at 1070, The Fan.
The Butler Bulldogs have numerous Big East games in the coming weeks, and you can watch them play. Mask up and get to Hinkle Fieldhouse. Visit ButlerSports.com/buy tickets or call 317-940-DOGS.
Hammer here for Indy's hometown sportsbook, Bet Rivers, BetRivers.com. If you've not yet signed up for a Bet Rivers account, check this out. They've got a super deal on the big game between KC and Tampa Bay. Make that first deposit of at least $100. Use the promo code BIGGAME500, and you could get up to $500 in free bets. Up to $500, baby. BetRivers.com. Must be 21 and over, a resident of Indiana. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Take your romance game to a whole new level this Valentine's with Diamonds Direct's most popular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase happening right now. You know jewelry is the perfect gift to celebrate your love. And with this incredible offer, you can afford to go big. like a $6,000 diamond tennis bracelet, just $100 a month, or a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings, just $50 a month. Diamonds Direct has teamed up with the world's top jewelry designers for an expanded selection of Valentine's surprises for any budget. Romantic gifts starting as low as $400. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, colored gemstones. The guaranteed largest selection, highest quality, and always the best value. Whether you shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Make this the most memorable Valentine's ever with 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase, including engagement rings. Now through Valentine's Day. Celebrate your love at Diamonds Direct.
Keystone at the Crossing.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Owner Danny Reinhardt says putting his kids in charge of more of the day-to-day operations of the business was the plan all along.
It makes me really proud that I know that I can turn it over to my family and they can take care of things, and I've got all the confidence in the world in them, and that's the legacy I'm proud to leave.
A great family-owned business, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, 317-745-4526. Reinhardt, your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Let's face it, football fans, 2020 was kind of like... But Unibet Sportsbook is betting 2021 is going to be a bit more like... And it starts with the big game. Sign up for $20 free today, $21 on game day, and two $250 risk-free bets. Let's do 2021 better. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Save big all February long at Big O with up to $190 off a set of Michelin tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Sports with Dan Dockich.
Fanatic.
High Point was going to go play Dayton, and we had our plane tickets ready, and I get a phone call, hey, some of the guys need to go to class, so we can't fly. I was like, well, what? Can I fly? And they're like, no, we canceled the tickets. We're going to bus. And I was like, we are going to what? And so we got on a bus from High Point, North Carolina to Dayton, Ohio.
Dan Dockich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Don't read your email, because I'm really butthurt when you read your email.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Marshall Faulk, Kevin Bowen today. I have no damn idea what we're doing tomorrow, so don't ask me. We shall figure it out. I see that Andrew Luck is trending on Twitter, some unsubstantiated rumors. I wish that Mike Austin would get some love and then like show off his JMV sucks tattoo to everybody. Unsubstantiated rumors are circulating that quarterback Andrew Luck may come out of retirement. Hey, listen, if he does, I'm going to give Mike Austin credit. I'm sure as hell not giving Mike Greenberg credit, all right? We're all on the same page there, right? I'm not giving hashtag Greeny any credit. I'll give it to Mike Austin. No credit, hashtag Greeny. Steve Reed chimes in. JMV, quick question. Since Rodgers seems to be off the table, how about going after Jordan Love? Haven't heard anything about this, but I say stick with Brissett. I think one of the worst things that they could do would be stick with Brissett. Because last year they went out and got somebody who was 38 years old to replace Brissett. But what that does, it kind of highlights their situation until we know more, which is not good. I think Chris Ballard would like to have that. We can't be all about the quarterback line back from like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Sorry, you are. I know, Grinder, but you are. You are about the quarterback. If you've watched a couple of seconds of the NFL, and I get what he was saying. You got to be a more well-rounded team, and he's created a more well-rounded team, although still has to address the wide receiver position like he should have, and like I've said too for a long time. But they're starting to get it. That's good, really good. But you are about your quarterback, and that's much easier to say when you have a quarterback. Like when you have it, you're not so worried about it. And you can say, well, we can't just be about him. That's something you got to get figured out. To me, Brissett is not at all an option. But you may not end up being wowed out of this. I'm assuming everybody around here really wants to be wowed. Want to be wowed. I don't blame you. I mean, when the owner's talking about, multiple Lombardis and this team's ready to win right now, it's time to be wowed. I just don't know if that's going to be in the cards this offseason. Jason writes this, Butler basketball getting into the same boat as IU. It's a struggle to watch this team play right now. It is. It was until the end. Then they started knocking down all those shots that they didn't come close to hitting early in the game and probably would have saved them from being down 18. But, yeah, I would agree with you there, too. Brian Kelly, I have text messages from a hooker that has been pals with Art Schliester. They say he's coming back. Somebody mentioned former Ohio State players and not being that great here. Shout out to Joe Stazniak, by the way. I didn't say it. But because when I mentioned that the Colts were interested or they liked Justin Fields, and it just kind of seems tough for them to get up to draft Justin Fields if that's their choice, where Justin Fields is going to go in this first round coming up in April. And then people start talking about former Ohio State players, and there's one right there. BK, that's well done. John Buzzard says, rough night for both IU and Purdue. Purdue had that thing won at Maryland, but just could not capitalize. You believe this? And this is for IU fans. The stinking, and Butler the same way, but especially IU in this case. And I know that they're still by a smidge, by a hair, still inside of, Lenardi? They're still in his bracketology, which you got me. I don't know what nerdery is being utilized to come to the conclusion that team is an NCAA tournament team right now, but whatever. That is some high-level nerdery. But, I mean, everything's going to be right here. Everything is going to be right here. And no IU, no Butler. I mean, really, you're looking at the Boilermakers right now. I mean, again, without the nerdery, the high-level nerdery going on. You'd have a tough time convincing me that is anywhere near a tournament team. It's all going to be right here and there. Like I'm looking outside right now, 6th floor, MS Worldwide, downtown of the Circle. It's all going to be right around here. Man. And you've had plenty of stinking time to get this thing done. Plenty of time. Sit around and wait. Sit around and wait. And then get bored with the wait. And rather watch the A-team Riptide and Remington Steel on a Tuesday night than IU and Illinois. Because much like with those shows, you know the outcome. Doug Dowden says, if it's Nick Foles, he'll be lucky to be 8-8 next year. He sucks. Got no argument from me, Doug. All right, 239-1070. Where are we going? Daryl's been on hold the longest. How you doing, my friend?
How you doing, brother?
Great.
Good to hear your voice.
Hey, the Matthew Stafford thing did not come to fruition here.
Well, when the Rams overpay for him.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe there might be a 4-team trade there where the Colts re-signed Brissett. Brissett goes to the Lions. Goff goes to Houston. Watson goes to the Jets, and Darnold comes to the Colts.
I mean, listen, I'm not gonna say you're wrong on that.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't either.
Because Detroit's taking it down to the studs. But the Colts are in trouble right now because since the Rams overpaid, everybody else is going to want more than what they should give for a quarterback. Carson Wentz is going to, the Philadelphia's going to want 2 first rounds and maybe a second or a third round for him. So it sounds like right now we're going to be stuck with Brissett. And if that's true, is Ballard on the hot seat?
Not with the owner. I mean, not with you would think that somebody that comes and everybody talks about at great lengths about the job that he has done. That's won one playoff game in 4 years, and that's a tough one to explain off right there. I mean, it really is. But no, with Jim, no, neither one, neither head coach nor general manager. No.
Everybody tells me that Ballard's the guy, but I don't see it. I don't, he's probably calling Luck right now on the phone, doing everything he can to have him come out of retirement.
Well, I guarantee you that's not him. That would be Jim if they were inclined to do that. but it's not going to be Chris. Yeah.
But why would Luck come back? You'd have to get a left tackle, a good left tackle for him to come back, because he's not going to come back to get his butt kicked again.
Yeah, Daryl, I don't know, and it does. To me right now, if I were a betting man, I would suggest that they would probably bring in some veteran quarterback and then see what they could do if they could move up in the draft. That's my and again, hey, listen, hey, you're preaching to the choir on this one, man. I know.
All right, brother. You have a good day.
Hey, Daryl.
Doing good?
She is well, thank you for asking. Yeah, she is retired from yesterday because we were hauling her around everywhere. But I almost said hauling her ass around everywhere, which I'm sure she wouldn't like if she's listening. But hauling her around everywhere yesterday. But she's doing great. Thank you for asking. Call Saturday night, too, brother.
I'll be at an airplane, brother.
Oh, well, you got a call from the airplane, Daryl. We have technology now working. Be careful wherever you're going. That's my man, Daryl. Hey, JMV, I'm sorry to be Twitter ignorant here, but does this person have a track record of insider Colts info? No, Mike Austin doesn't, but he does have a track record of tattooing JMV sucks on his body. That's good enough for me. I don't know about you. That's good enough for me. Or is he just some random person spreading potentially fake info? He's got JMV sucks tattooed on his body. Enough said. That is awesome, man. Hey, JMV, you always remember the movies with the best ladies. Rebecca De Mornay. Remember when she rocked the cradle and I need a nanny like... I don't know if you want a nanny like that, man. She set up Solomon and screwed him over, and I think and that guy was such a nerd, too. Who was that dork? Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Talk about a dork that had his head in the sand. His wife was like a hard ass. That was Annabelle Sciorra. This guy was a big nerd. Well, I don't know what's going on here. That's a good reference, though. Rebecca De Mornay was, however, in risky business, which works. JMV, everyone contributed last night for the Pacers except Aaron Holiday, of course. I'm over it. Sumner needs those minutes. Yes, let me tell you this, though. Kevin Pritchard needs one of these guys that he picks in the teens to actually still be in the NBA one of these days. I mean, he doesn't need scenarios like the guy that went 5 slots later goes for 30-plus and gives you a beatdown playing for Toronto, and then the guy that you picked is playing at the Baxter Y. I get what you're saying regarding Aaron Holiday, I do, because he does drive you nuts. He does have one game and maybe every 6. The inconsistency factor is something that at some point here you're going to have to work out. Yaney, you're absolutely right about that. Hey, JMV, I really hope Mike Austin somehow made some coin on this Andrew Luck coming back tech stuff. Because let's face it, there's a better chance the Texans trade Deshaun Watson to the Colts for a bag of practice balls. Matt and Avon. I've heard nothing. You're right. That was Lloyd Braun, wasn't it, Blaine? Lloyd Braun was the nerdy, dorky, head-in-the-sand husband in The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. That's a great call by you. I could not remember his name. Yeah, Steve in San Antonio says Matt McCoy. Didn't he have that beard? Probably was rocking a dude purse or something, too. JMV, you should call that guy from Wisconsin that called in Monday and made my afternoon. He was pretty awesome calling in, too. All right, let me take a quick break, and I'll return here on the other side. I got Scott, Justin. Jerome wants to talk about Matt Ryan and IU. Bubba with an IU call should be absolutely fantastic. You know what? We may put that one on deck. Other side next.
Sports with Dan Dakich.
Would you all just be completely, ridiculously disappointed if it ended up being Jacoby Brissett? Would it be like, I'm not getting interested until and if the Colts win a few games with this guy? I don't know, but I think the more this goes on, the more it's a real possibility Jacoby's going to be in the mix.
Dan Dakich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, it's John here for Love Heating and Air Conditioning. All right, we are going to plunge into, is it called an Arctic dome? An Arctic blast? I'd have to ask somebody in the meteorology department here. I don't quite know, but it's going to get really cold, like single digits coming up. Make sure that heating unit is putting out the force to keep you warm as it should. And call Johnny Chris Love Heating and Air. 317-353-2141. Making sure that thing's working efficiently, because you will definitely notice it coming up, I guess, on the end of this weekend when we get down to the single digits. I don't like it, but we got to get through it. And making sure your heating unit's doing its job. That's the job of Love Heating and Air, and they do it the absolute best. 317-353-2141. Also, they partnered up with iWave, the air purification system that can be in your home. It is state-of-the-art. We all need it, and you can get it now just by mentioning my name. $25 off the price tag. Check that. $125 off the price tag. Come on, John. $125 off the price of the iWave right now with Love Heating and Air. Just mention JMV. 317-353-2141. Online, love-hvac.com today.
Kids, tell your parents about Form's Sprout of the Month contest, where you could win $100 in a Sprout account. Details at 1075thefan.com. Now is the time to cheer on your Indiana Pacers live inside Bankers Life Fieldhouse.
Line pass over the shoulder as he cut across the baseline right to left. Turner took it and dunked it.
Single-game Pacer tickets are now on sale, and a safe fan experience is our top priority.
Sabonis, McDermott,
Let it go.
Brogdon for three. Got it! Malcolm Brogdon!
Zion Williams and the New Orleans Pelicans make their only visit to Indy on Friday. Get tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Pelicans, Friday at 7.
Hey, I want you to write down this number, 888-724-5129. And if you haven't heard this before, if you're asking yourself right now, why am I writing down this number? Fellas, if you're over 35 years of age, 68% of you, of us, fellas, we're all in the same gang here, begin to lose our lettuce, our dome coverage. Poof, and it is gone. I mean, we have been parted down the middle, butt cut, bi-level, Steve Alford-looking haircut forever, and then all of a sudden, in a snap, it's gone or starts to fade away. If you catch it at a good time and you want your real growing hair again, let Darren Andrews explain to you the techniques of PAI. It's WeGrowHairIndy.com, 888-724-5129, platelet-rich plasma, multi-unit hair grafting, Artist Robotic FUE, laser hair therapy. It's real and it works. Your real growing hair again with PAI. That private consultation with Darren Andrews today, 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com.
My daughter's making college plans, and she's got a long wish list for her future. We toured IUPUI. And we're impressed. With the campus located in downtown Indianapolis, she'll have access to real-world opportunities that will put her education to work. And with professors ranked in the top 50 nationwide for exceptional undergraduate teaching, she'll have the guidance she needs to make her future goals a reality. Want to know more? Go to iupui.edu.
Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Greenwood is like a sports bar for your head. It's on State Road 135, just north of Smith Valley Road. Lady Jane's in Greenwood, it's wicked awesome.
The Pacers head north to face the division rival Milwaukee Bucks this evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Can I buy you guys a drink? Guess not.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, shout out to my guy Matt Derry, Locked On Lions. He'll more than just occasionally do work over in Cleveland. A great guy. Love having him on as a guest. And he listens to this show, listens to the JMV Takeover on Saturday night, puts down requests. That is money. Shout out to Matt Derry. Shout out to Carson Steele, the Mr. Football in the state of Indiana. Carson from Center Grove is signed on with Mike New and Ball State. That is well done. Mike got a great player. Carson is going to be coached up by Mike, which is good. Well done. Well done, Carson. Jordan Lakes writes this: thank God Kevin Pritchard can win trades because he can't draft for blank. It sounds like a match game question I just asked. A or B? B, please. All right. Everybody's in. Thank God Kevin Pritchard can win trades because he can draft for blank. That's pretty funny. Yeah, those teens, you got to find somebody. You got to get somebody out of there. No doubt. Justin's up next at 239-1070. Hello, Justin. How are you?
Hey, John. How you doing?
Great. Go ahead.
All right. Well, as far as that Hand Rocks the Cradle, man, it was that greenhouse they were obsessed with. And she just had a kid. I mean, I've had three. And I don't know how you find the time to build a greenhouse and raise a kid. They were not bunch. And then, of course, we're to sabotage that greenhouse into breaking in shards over your head.
How did the wife agree to hire the hottest nanny of all time, too, by the way? Come on now. No wife's going to agree to that.
Hey, well, I'll tell you right now, if it was Andrew Luck's wife, I don't know if that's going to fly with her, man. If that story is any way through, he's got to rein someone in. Anyway.
Go ahead, Justin.
I don't mean to get heat on your show. Anyway, I've called in before. You pushed back on me on this, and I think you're going to push back a little bit again, but I'm going to say it again. You asked the question earlier, is the quarterback issue with Chris Ballard unforgivable? And I think, or would it be unforgivable? And I think that ship has sailed, my friend, because I've said before, the shrewd and conservative mentality of our GM did not give him the podium to say, look, we are missing – we lost a generational talent. We lost a huge part of this organization. We have to do a little bit of backtracking here. And when we had the 13th pick, and I like DeForest Buckner, don't get me wrong, but that was our chance to find the future. But I think our owner is hanging on to the false hope. Ballard is not focusing on a QB. Between his shrewd mentality and our owner, hanging on a prayer, this is a bad combination. We should have got a quarterback last draft when we had the 13th pick. We should have moved up. We could have found the guy. But this conservative mentality, I think it's going to destroy us in the end. And I think we're already past that because, he's not going to give up a lot of draft capital to go from 21 to 12 to 10. Let's be honest. What are your thoughts on that? I think
I wouldn't. To me, this is just me, okay, Justin? I think this has probably been the basis of my retort to you before when you said this is I don't call him he paid $25 million to a 38-year-old quarterback. I mean, they've tried to do something, right? They've tried to do something about it, but it didn't last as long as I'm assuming they wanted it to last. They wanted that to last for 2 years. So, I mean, and to me, I'm not going to argue with the Buckner thing because the Buckner thing, the reason why this defense, especially early in the season, was as good as it was because of DeForest Buckner. And you got an established player for 13. Maybe what you're talking about here is you've had to pry draft picks out of his vice-like grip. And maybe by virtue of trading 13 for DeForest Buckner, that should tell you that while you should embrace the grassroots effort of drafting your own, that if you can go out and get somebody that can have that type of effect on your team, do it. So if you're talking about that in terms of quarterback, I completely understand. And he may come to that realization that quarterback-wise, whether it's trying to find somebody off of somebody else's team or drafting or moving up in the draft to get somebody that you like, that he is going to have to do that. And as I've mentioned, that Buckner deal a year ago should pave the way of understanding of how that can work. And it always doesn't have to be about getting the most out of your draft. You're getting the most out of your draft if you're trading picks for somebody that helps you in the short and in the long, as Buckner did a year ago and will for the future.
Yeah, and with all this, though, quarterbacks are a different food group because of the way the rule.
There's no doubt. No doubt.
And the fact of the matter is that whether it's in your draft or whether it's in the big casino known as the NFL, you bet small, you win small. You bet big, you win big. You want to bet $20 a pop here and there in blackjack, you're going to get a little in return. But if you put it all in red or black, you're going to get a huge return.
I don't look at him being conservative in paying $25 million for a 38-year-old quarterback, but I think that he can learn from that deal for Buckner a year ago that you can also make do with your draft selections if it helps you get somebody that's going to help you, as Buckner did in the now. I see nothing wrong with that, and that's something that maybe he should learn.
Maybe, but the 1-year deals have come back to haunt him now with the nutrition and. Look, 1-year deal here, 1-year deal there. Once again, I will say I think his thinking is kind of small and conservative. I like the wholesomeness of our team. It's nice to have capital. It's nice to have draft capital. But who made the NFC and NFC championships and local reset? If they had not expanded the playoffs, we'd be looking on the outside in. But
Justin, thank you for the call. We're going to disagree, and there's nothing to disagree about getting the help or that extra playoff spot was, but. To me, being conservative, if you want to say it about drafting, all right. But I thought last year with that Buckner deal for number 13, that should have been proof that, man, you can go out and get somebody to help you in the right now. And with the 1-year deal with Rivers, they had hoped when they first signed him to a 1 that he was going to play well enough and want to come back for a second year. And then ultimately he didn't want to come back for a second year. They did the same thing with a 1-year deal on Xavier Rhodes. I mean, they rolled the dice. That was a win-win for them. Now the problem you're going to have is he's going to leave and go someplace else because he's going to go for the biggest payday out there for him. But, they translated that 1-year deal into something too. Hey, Jerome, before the top of the hour at 239-1070. Jerome, go ahead.
Hey, how's it going, man? I'm glad you have the call. My concerns with Matt Ryan, I mean, you talked about it over the summer. The only way I'm taking Matt Ryan is if they put Julio Jones in that package. My IU question is, that team has quit on that coach. He's not better than Mike Davis. He's not better than Tom Crean. I don't know why they don't have Steve Alford on speed dial. I got a Pacers question for you.
Yeah.
Even when the Pacers are totally healthy, and I'm a Pacer fan, I don't want to sound like a hater, I don't see them getting out of the first round without adding some toughness to the team. We got one tough guy on the team, which is Sabonis. And if we learn anything from the Miami series is, if Sabonis is occupied with Bam or Jimmy, we don't have any other tough guys that can be physical, push and shove. We don't have a James Johnson. We don't have a Torian Prince. We don't have anybody that can meet with the physicality. We got one tough guy, Conor McGregor, who is Sabonis, and we got a point guard, Morris Day, who's not going to get physical with anybody.
Hey, Jerome, I'll answer those all right here. Listen, I don't know if you can make what the Pacers may or may not do in the postseason with what you see right now, because you're still hoping and expecting hopefully two significant dudes to return. Looking for somebody tough? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just more scoring. And one thing they're not going to get is a little perimeter defensive help, because I know they struggle in that capacity. Yeah, certainly not everything's right, though. Not everything's right. I don't know if I agree with you on the got to have somebody tough type of deal. I mean, you bring in, a guy that you count on to be a scorer with T.J. Warren. Again, hopefully Karis LeVert comes back and you get something, certainly out of that you're expecting. So, to me, that would be much better than trying to find somebody, Jerome, that is tough. You know what I mean? or the way that you described that. Jerome, thank you. Quick one. Marshall Faulk coming up a little bit after 4. Your calls, Kevin Bowen in the 5 o'clock hour, 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Sports with Dan Dakich.
Greg Cosell, nice enough to join. Colts need a quarterback. What would you do?
They don't really have one under contract except for Jacob Eason. I have no idea what they think of him. People talk about Carson Wentz because of Frank Reich. Other than that, you might have to look to the draft. I'm not sure where you go, but you need a quarterback just for competition. I don't know if you're going to get the guy that's the savior of the franchise, Dan, but you need competition at the quarterback position.
Dan Dakich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, it's John here, FanDuel Sportsbook. So celebrate the 55th edition of the big game with exclusive 55-1 odds on FanDuel Sportsbook. Now, if you've never tried it, FanDuel new users right now can bet on either team to get 55-1 odds. So you can take the Buccaneers or the Chiefs, bet $5 to win $275 if you pick the winner of the big game coming up on February the 7th. And there are so many different reasons and ways why FanDuel Sportsbook is the absolute best. It's easy to use, and I certainly need that. Live betting is awesome. We were just kind of chatting a little bit earlier about how fun live betting has made watching any game. Those games especially that you have no rooting interest in. Live betting is awesome, and it's great with FanDuel Sportsbook. And again, right now, those 55-1 odds for new users can be had by downloading FanDuel Sportsbook, utilizing the promo code JMV. Again, FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code JMV. 21 plus and present in Indiana. New users only must wager on designated Boost Market. Deposit required. Max bonus $275. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Another reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo. What is Zipline? It's Golden Oak's fast and easy online mortgage application tool that leaves you with more time to take the dog for a long evening walk. Good dog. Plan a family movie night.
I get to pick the movie. No, it's my turn. It's not.
Okay, double feature it is. And still have time to clean up the popcorn you weren't planning on sharing.
Toby.
Bad dog. At Golden Oak Lending, we speak mortgage and love translating it for our customers throughout their lives. Right now, rates are at a record low 1.875%. Take advantage of today's low rates by visiting us online at goldenoaklending.com to use Zipline, a simple tool that will make your next home loan or refi a breeze. And remember, at Golden Oak, we never charge for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan. NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.913% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hey, it's JMV here for L.D. Smith Plumbing. Hey, if I've said it once, I've said it at least a couple of times. We don't have no time for frozen pipes. So we are going to take a nosedive in the temps coming up this weekend. Just make sure your pipes are sufficient. Or this, if you have frozen pipes, you know who to call. You know what? Don't throw a dart at a dartboard. Go with the best here. The local and the best. It's Lance and L.D. Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526. Find out for yourself. Plumbing emergencies, L.D. Smith Plumbing to the rescue 24/7. And they've got those service hours every day for you, 24/7, 365. And for my listeners right now, you mention me, JMV, and you get $50 off any service. 317-284-9526. 317-284-9526. Also, mention my name, too, with that emergency service they have going on right now. That's Lance and the team at L.D. Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526. Online, ldsmithplumbing.com, especially this weekend with those frozen pipes, Indy.
When it comes to working at Geico, our best advocates are our employees, like Michael. But since he is so focused on growing his career, we hired an actor to read his story.
If you want a job where you get out as much as you put in, Geico is the best place to work. Plus, we promote from within, so there are no ceilings placed on your opportunities.
They even offer parental leave to full-time employees. So there's nothing stopping him from going all the way to the top. But not too high. He's scared of heights.
Ready to start your career, Indy? We're hiring claim sales and service agents. Apply online today at geico.job/Indy.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook wants you to experience Rush Pay. When you want to cash out your winnings, you don't want to wait 2 days just to get the go-ahead to withdraw your money. That's why Bet Rivers created Rush Pay. With Rush Pay, 80% of withdrawal requests are approved instantly, meaning you'll get your money faster. Why wait? Get your cash when you want it. Bet with a winner. Bet with Bet Rivers Sportsbook at betrivers.com. Must be 21 and located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Don't miss your shot. Get pre-approved today for your new home with our 5-minute loan approval. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, WIBC, HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
We're going to get you all set up as we move towards Super Bowl weekend. Coach Brian Billick, Super Bowl champ's going to join us. Darius Butler, Mike Wells. We got the Super Bowl covered tomorrow, noon to 3.
The Ride with JMV.
Hey, you gonna stare all day or you gonna buy something? I'm gonna stare all day.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
And Marshall Faulk coming up in a couple of minutes. Some time with the Hall of Famer. Get your calls as well. BT writes this, and he's right. My point regarding, prying those draft selections out of your hands and making a trade, to me, would have been more apt to say, or it was last week before Matt Stafford was swallowed up by the Rams. Because I think we all know how much Chris loves draft selections, and he has made some really good draft picks. He's made some that haven't worked out. I mean, you're right. Nelson, Taylor moved up for Taylor, Pittman Jr., Darius Leonard. You end up getting Nelson and Leonard out of trading back, and the Sam Darnold thing with the Jets, and Naheem Hines. That's what I understand. My point is more that like last year, that you can utilize draft picks, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the selection of a rookie. I mean, if a team like San Francisco, you know you're going to have to unload somebody defensively to make room for contracts because you're up against the cap, and all of a sudden you get a guy like DeForest Buckner available. I mean, those things can work too. And again, that conversation would have been more for last week when you thought that, Matthew Stafford was a definite possibility, which is by the board now. But that's been my point all along. And I thought that situation was magnified last year with what he did with 13 for DeForest Buckner. I mean, established and turned into arguably one of the better defensive players in the entire NFL this year. And you gave up 13 for it, which worked out great. So that's the point. I tell you what, calls coming up on the other side. You want to do a couple here? We got time. Is Marshall calling in right now? All right. Guys, get on hold. I'll get to you. I got Scott and William waiting. I know some folks want to hit some IU basketball. We will. Pacers later on tonight versus the Bucks. Big-time winner last night over the Memphis Grizzlies. And, my man Mike Austin. And his luck rumor. Things getting a lot of play, though. Getting a lot of play. I saw McAfee tweeted about it earlier today. I think he had a segment on it. I think, Cowherd had a segment on it. The Green Man's going to go crazy over it tomorrow morning. It's so exciting. Shout out to Mike Austin. He's got the JMV Sucks tattooed on his bod. That's well done. Get back to your calls in a second. Inside the Lounge on YouTube Live, if you'd like to get there. We should love to have you. Conversationally and then some. YouTube Live, The Ride with JMV. Meantime, Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline. He's a former Colts running back. He is a Hall of Famer, and we are happy to have him on the show. Prior to the Super Bowl and then some, Marshall Faulk joins us now. Hey, Marshall, thanks for the time. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for jumping on here. I'm kind of curious. I want to start with the Colts just a little bit here. We saw Matthew Stafford end up from Detroit to the Rams. A lot of people around here thought that was a final piece of a puzzle that could put the Colts at least in a challenge for an AFC title coming up in 2021. Is that the missing piece for this team right now, is essentially that quarterback position here moving forward?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you got to have that guy. You got to have that guy. When you look at the two quarterbacks that's in the Super Bowl, you have one old, one young, but they're staples for their team, and that's what they need. And you know, I thought Matthew Stafford had a chance. I was thinking Indianapolis would be a great place for him, but lo and behold, here we are. The Rams made a big move and a splash, and they gave up a lot. But it's going to be interesting to see what this Colts team do, because my question, what I keep thinking about is, do they have time? Because this team looks primed to be there now. Do they have time to develop a young guy?
It's Marshall Faulk with us, and you're right. Jim Irsay said last week, Marshall, that he felt that they were a veteran quarterback presence away from doing that, which I think a lot of people kind of interpreted that as being Matthew Stafford. And now, because it's not like last year. Last year you had all these free agents out there, and you kind of pick and choose and wow somebody by deals. But now, if you want somebody, you're really going to have to, first have availability and then go out and try to trade for them. And that has changed up that veteran quarterback availability dynamic a great deal.
Without a doubt. I mean, looking at the landscape of things, I don't want to start any rumors or nothing, but based on what I saw, I was thinking like what's going on in Philadelphia. That looks interesting. There might be a play there. If Carson Wentz starts barking, there might be a play there, because the only other guy that I keep hearing is Deshaun Watson, and there's no way the Texans trade in division like that.
No, I completely agree with you on that, too. And Carson Wentz has been a discussionary topic around here for a while as well. See, Nick Sirianni, who was the offensive coordinator here, is now in Philadelphia. And I guess what you end up having to, look, we don't know this yet, but give me your thoughts in Philly, because you did bring this up. You have Carson Wentz, who has been there, who's got the huge contract, and then you have Jalen Hurts, who Doug Peterson installed as the starter. And then ultimately you kind of had a pissing match between Wentz and Peterson that the coach lost, and he is now gone. Sirianni's in there. Do you think that's something where Sirianni, the new coach, is going to try to cobble that back together again with Wentz? Or might you be looking at Jalen Hurts being the guy for the foreseeable future quarterback there?
Just imagine this. Wentz has to play so bad. He has to play so bad that the owner can see that it's Wentz's fault, because Wentz just got a coach who won the Super Bowl without him fired.
Yep.
Think about it. Just think about what just happened. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback in Nick Foles, and Wentz got him fired. So I would have been skeptical in taking that job. But if you're young, kind of up and coming, don't really, not hearing your name a lot, and you find yourself somewhere, you take the job. You take the job, but you have to understand kind of what you're walking into. It's not like Matt LaFleur going into Green Bay with an Aaron Rodgers who's proven. Wentz hasn't shown me enough yet to have the leeway to be able to do what he's done. Now, if Hurts is the guy, Hurts is the guy. Let's say that. But I just don't like how the things went down in Philly. Doug deserved more than what he was given, because of, I think he's like 3 years removed from winning a Super Bowl. And you got to give coaches respect when they earn it, not just give it to them when they don't. He earned the respect. He should have had his say on what went on there.
It is amazing. The Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk is with us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. The Ride with JMV is on 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 Fan. I agree with you on that, too. And it's funny, as we're talking about quarterbacks, we're really sizing up everybody. I mean, anybody that's ever thrown a ball, I think, here in Indianapolis, Marshall, we're sizing them up as, hey, can they help? And the latest name that popped up is Derek Carr. Now, Mike Mayock said last week that they were fine and he did well and they liked Derek Carr, but you always kind of look at it as, does John Gruden really like the quarterback that he presently has? And if Deshaun Watson is available, might Vegas take a shot at bringing in Watson and maybe those dominoes fall and Derek Carr ultimately is available? Would Derek Carr be a fit here if indeed he no longer is the quarterback presence in Vegas?
I think he can, based on what they want to do and what they how they look, and what they tried to do with Phillip. Derek is mobile enough to give you what you need to get out of a quarterback in order to do what you want to do. Here we go again. The question is this the guy for John Gruden? And we'll get a chance to see. I can't imagine quarterbacks like Derek Carr. You just don't find them. They're just not standing out there like available for people. You can't let a guy like that go.
Yeah, and I mean, around here we've been talking about, Nick Foles, reemerging just because of connections with Frank Reich, as you brought up with his time in Philly and then winning the Super Bowl is, maybe that's kind of a fallback plan because honestly, Marshall, around here, they may end up going with a fallback plan and thus may end up trying to go out there and maybe drafting somebody with a first-round selection and bringing somebody in and having a veteran and then moving off of that. It's really weird, I guess, ultimately, Marshall, here, because normally you have a quarterback that is set up as a rookie and then you build around him and then he gets paid, something like that. Now you have players around here that are already built in without a quarterback. So really it's kind of backwards with what normal circumstances are for building a top-level team in the NFL.
I like that. You know what? But it's better if you get a young quarterback to have pieces already in place, because I'm going to tell you this. I was just having this conversation about Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, and I said Tom Brady went to a team that was ready to win, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter if he was how great he was. He didn't have to be great. He had no expectations. Tom Brady wasn't drafted to go save the franchise. And when you're not drafted to save the franchise, you come in and just play and worry about your play. So Tom had success early, where Peyton was drafted to save a franchise. And so all the bumps and bruises and hiccups that you have trying to learn how to win with people that aren't that good, it's hard. But you get a young quarterback, let's say Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson went to a team that was ready to win. They were ascending, and what was he, third-round pick? We didn't know what Russell was. Sometimes you don't know where you're going to find the guy and how he's going to be, and that can be the case. And then you look at is there a guy out there that's more like a Drew Brees? We had no idea Drew was going to be what he was when he went to New Orleans from San Diego. We thought he was done, and Phillip Rivers was like everything. So basically what I'm saying is, of all years, because of how this year is, this may be the toughest job for a general manager and scouts. It's going to expose who's really good and not because of COVID and how you can't get to the talent. A lot of players didn't play. You're just exposed.
Yep.
So the really good scouts and the teams that are really good at evaluating talent, they're going to rise to the top.
Well, you're right about that, too. And we have a dude here in town, the Colts do, with Jacob Eason, who, you drafted in the 4th round. He's got a great deal of what they say talent, but you've not been able to see any of it because of COVID and the restrictions and no camp and no preseason and all that. So you got that great deal of a mystery and an unknown. It's the Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk with us. I did want to ask you this. We haven't talked as much about the running back position since Edgerrin James and you, certainly prior to Edgerrin James here, with rookie running back Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin this past year. Did you catch any of his play, and what did you think about the rookie here in Indy last year in the season he had?
Oh, man, JT did well. I'm forgetting who did they lose, who went down early in the season.
It was Marlon Mack, yes.
Mack went down. Mack went down early in the season.
Yep.
And I wasn't sure of what the running game was going to be like because think about it. I mean, camp was not really a camp. Nothing before that. And the question was, what was he going to be, and how could he be? And man, he stepped up big time. The numbers that he put up, and you can tell as the season got going, he started to get stronger. And I think that they have you guys have a really good young back there, and a really good young backfield. And the interesting part is you have competition now, and when there's nothing lost. There's nothing lost when you take a guy out and you put him in, and just a really good pickup. Really good pickup.
It turned out really well. There's no doubt about that, and you're number one. Marshall Faulk is with us. So who do you like in the big game Sunday, Marshall?
Oh, man, you know what? When I look at this thing, it's like it's a close game, and you're giving Tom Brady points. I'm like, wow, you're giving Tom Brady points, but the reason why he's being given points because, King of the Hill with Kansas City, and in order to beat the best, you got to beat the best. So I'm going with Kansas City. I think it's a high-scoring game. I like the points here. I like the over. I think it's a high-scoring game. I see 35-30 Kansas City.
Marshall Faulk, the Hall of Famer, with us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Man, I always enjoy talking to you. It was great to have you, on the set with us, not this past season, the season before last at Touchdown Town, and here's to having that happen once again, and we'll do it again soon, Marshall. Thank you.
Looking forward to it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
It's Marshall Faulk right there, the Hall of Famer, the former Colts running back with us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He was with me and Big Joe, I think the Gore Man, and Wrights, and we were in Touchdown Town. This is obviously before last year because the pandemic shut all that stuff down. But it was a really good time. Marshall Faulk, who was incredible as a player and who got traded. Matthew Stafford got traded for everything. Marshall Faulk got traded for nothing. I mean, what ended up being Mike Peterson and Brad Scioli. But things turned out for both. I mean, he went on to the Hall of Fame. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams, and the Colts got their era going finally and won a Super Bowl 41 as well. Marshall Faulk on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Kevin Bowen's going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour. Otherwise, me and you on the other side, we got Pacers to hit. Pacers Bucks later on tonight. IU from last night. Boilers from last night. Butler from last night. Any hoopage you want to get to, we can do that as well. 93.5, 107.5, 1070 The Fan.
Hey, it's Big Joe, and we know that anything can happen in a game, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't bet with confidence. BetMGM invites new customers to experience their favorite sports like never before with a risk-free first bet of up to $600. Just sign up using the bonus code BIGJOE600, place your first wager, and get your stake back up to $600 in free bets if you lose. The fearlessness doesn't stop there either. Enjoy BetMGM's innovative parlay selection features, live betting options, daily boosted odds specials, and much more. All you have to do is download the BetMGM app or go to BetMGM.com and enter that bonus code BIGJOE600 to get up to $600 in free bets on your first wager. Bet confidently on basketball, hockey, and all the sports action at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years of age or older to wager. If you know somebody who has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, John, for Connecticut, let's all celebrate with great water. The best water, and if you don't have Connecticut, you don't have the best. So 2021, as we've already changed that calendar over, right? We're in the second month. Let's make sure that everybody out there gets a piece of the best water possible, because if you don't have Connecticut, you know this. It's just not the same. Indiana notoriously has some of the hardest water around, so go with the best. That's Connecticut. Premier Series water softener in-home drinking water station, the K5. I'm telling you, it's going to blow your mind. You'll love it. It's a game changer in your home with Connecticut. Joe, John, and Dennis with those deals right now. Northeast side Castleton, south side US 31 and Southport Road. Online, ConnecticutIndy.com. The app today. Download that to your smartphone or device with all the great deals and accessories and salt. Joe, John, and Dennis and my friends at Connecticut today.
Small business owners, Is your internet making office tasks painfully slow? Are your file upload speeds sluggish? Are your video calls choppy? You need more speed. AT&T Business Fiber gives you up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. Faster upload speeds mean smoother, less glitchy video conferencing and faster file transfers. Visit att.com/businessfast or call 844-661-FAST to get our best price on our best service. Imagine it, up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. AT&T experts can help you upgrade to AT&T Business Fiber. Soon, you're going to love your internet. Call 844-661-FAST now. Comparison by Telogical Systems, 12-2020.
Take your romance game to a whole new level this Valentine's with Diamonds Direct's most popular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase happening right now. You know jewelry is the perfect gift to celebrate your love. And with this incredible offer, you can afford to go big. Like a $6,000 diamond tennis bracelet, just $100 a month. Or a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings, just $50 a month. Diamonds Direct has teamed up with the world's top jewelry designers for an expanded selection of Valentine's surprises for any budget. Romantic gifts starting as low as $400. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, colored gemstones. The guaranteed largest selection, highest quality, and always the best value. Whether you shop in store or online at DiamondsDirect.com. Make this the most memorable Valentine's ever with 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase, including engagement rings. Now through Valentine's Day. Celebrate your love at Diamonds Direct.
Keystone at the Crossing.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Save big all February long at Big O with up to $190 off a set of Michelin tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
If you qualify, the VA loan program is the best option out there. Whether you're refinancing or buying a home, visit HeroLoan.com. NMLS number 1326-241.
It's the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
Tony Dungy. How unhealthy is it for us to leave the light on for Andrew Luck?
Andrew is the type of guy that has other interests, and I think he's happy. Could he possibly come back 2 or 3 years from now? I just don't think it's going to happen. So I think to wait and to be Andrew Luck will be the guy who solves all these problems. I think you're probably waiting on something that's not going to happen.
The Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
Weekday mornings at 7
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Are you kidding? You think I'd join his crummy snobatorium? But his whole place sucks. That's right, it sucks.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Marshall Faulk podcast, 1075thefan.com. Bowen's in here at 5. Fisher Farms in Jasper, shout out. Thanks for the meat. Yeah, I saw it yesterday. I love Blooming Foods in Bloomington, right? So I was in Blooming Foods yesterday, and I said, man, look at all this Fisher Farms stuff. Let's get it. And then they reached out to me yesterday on Twitter, and I appreciate that. I slid by the Odin Meat Locker yesterday, which was fantastic. So, yeah, got a lot of things done. Hey, listen to this for a moment, too, right? So, Schefter writes this via Twitter. There were over 20 Chiefs players and staffers, including quarterback Patrick Mahomes, scheduled Sunday to get a haircut with the barber who tested positive for COVID, per sources. The Chiefs acted wisely and aggressively and pulled the barber mid-cut. Once his test results came in, what? What are the odds? What are the odds like a positive COVID test with Patrick Mahomes came back that he wouldn't play?
How did they not test that guy, 6 days in a row beforehand and keep him isolated?
So great.
And who is he? They said they pulled him mid-cut. Whose hair was he cutting?
Sebastian writes this. Yeah, Ballard has been good at drafting non-premium positions, and yeah, Buckner is top tier. Got that right. At JMV, with the huge need for quarterback, it just seems like the time to be really aggressive and push for the 21st pick in next year's first in a trade up. if it gets to be around pick 8 and a guy you really like is sitting there, make the move. To me, with what's transpired in the last 5 days regarding Matthew Stafford and that veteran quarterback presence that just as of right now doesn't look out there, that's almost become the most logical choice, Sebastian, honestly. That is so true. Hey, JMV, even if this rumor is legit, would you be able to trust the man to stick around for very long? Talking about Andrew Luck, and a shout out to Mike Austin, who started all of this, who's got my name, JMV Sucks, tattooed on him. Shout out, Mike. You know what? Here's the thing, Raphael. It doesn't matter whether or not I trust him. It matters whether or not those guys that were his teammates prior would. I mean, he left dudes in a bad spot. Now, again, as I said at the outset of the show, I haven't heard 1 ounce of this. Nothing regarding Luck. And everybody's just kind of taking it and running with it here. But it doesn't matter if I did. I mean, I said this all along. It'd be great just because you don't have a quarterback right now. But the problem you're going to have, I mean, he bailed with 2 weeks to go, and frankly, I was over it. I was over everything. I haven't had to talk. I mean, we're talking about the quarterback position, which is still as unsettled as ever right now. But I got sick and tired of talking about injuries and Belgium and whether or not he's going to play and reading the tea leaves and, you know, what did Bill Polian say? And Peyton Manning talked to him. I kind of got tired of all that, and I'm over it. I am over it, and I can tell you right now, I wouldn't really want it back. I wouldn't. Now, I guess I'm coming from a place in saying that where I don't think this rumor's accurate, but I got sick of it. Like, talking about who's going to be the next quarterback is much better to me than talking about whether or not your quarterback is injured enough. Is he ever going to play? It's pretty much over that. And, man, if I was a teammate at the time or had any connection to that, and 2 weeks before I'm going to pull the plug and, you know, really handle it about as bad as you could. You couldn't handle that any worse. Think about that. Think about anybody, you know, in the inner circle or with the Colts thinking that rumor is not going to explode an entire weekend. Hey, can you guys keep a secret? I got news for you. Nobody can keep a secret. Nobody. My man Mike Austin can't keep a secret. Nobody can keep a secret. Trust nobody with your secrets. Everybody has a big mouth. That's pretty funny. $239-1070 is the number. JMV, do you remember how bad the IU teams were in Crean's first few years? I actually enjoyed those years more because there was hope for the future. There's no hope with this current regime. Listen, if you don't realize that this is going nowhere by now, then you're never going to realize it. I mean, maybe you're just riding this out to ride it out. But again, it's more than just losing right now, which sucks. It is a level of apathy that I don't know, and I've watched IU basketball for stinking ever. I don't recognize it. I mean, it has been a long time. Yeah, you got people that are just tuning out and going, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I said Dane Fife last time, and nobody listened, and they probably wouldn't listen this time either. It just, I don't know. If you can't see it right now, I mean, if you got this vision of something else and some glorified transformation that everybody's been waiting for, I wouldn't be holding my breath anymore. William's at 239-1070. William, hello. How are you, bud?
Doing real well. How are you doing?
I'm great. Go ahead. Yep.
And this is by far, I've been watching IU basketball since for 38 years, and this is by far the worst basketball I've ever seen in my entire life. I'd rather watch a chick flick with my wife than to watch this team play. I mean, I don't know what this coach does well. I mean, they don't shoot the ball well. They don't shoot free throws well. They don't play defense well. When's the last time you've seen this team even set a pick? I mean, they don't do anything well. This is by far the worst.
He sure as hell. He blames his guys pretty well, though. I know that. He does that.
I mean, you know what? I've watched the Titanic with my wife several times, and it always ends the same way. That ship sinks, and the captain went down with that ship, and he needs to go down with this ship.
Yeah, and thank you, William, for the call. Anybody else have visions of what seemingly you'd be waiting on here? I don't see it. I haven't saw it for a number of years. Believe me, I am part of the apathy. I've been part of the apathy. I mean, I'd watched for the past couple of years because I know Trace, but I've been a part of it. I'd much rather watch an NBA game. But because, you obviously going to ask questions about it, you got to pay attention and you got to watch. I mean, it's much easier for you to disconnect because you don't have to come on and people are going to ask you, well, why did the three officials suck so bad last night? I have no idea, but they sucked last night for sure. They were terrible. I thought, my God, this game's not going to end until 2 a.m. Let's go over and check. Got to check with the clock. Is the clock right? Offensive. I mean, it was, those three guys, this is a comedy. But it doesn't take away with just how bad it has been. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm sure you have a greater depth of basketball knowledge than I doubt it. If you think this thing is going somewhere and there's going to be an end result other than what we have seen. Anybody? And that apathy is the worst. It's just at levels I've never seen it. I mean, you may have bits and pieces, over the Crean era where you guys have kind of shut it down. And I don't know how much everybody around here likes Sampson. I didn't, but, I mean, he can coach. I mean, he's coaching up Houston. I didn't like him, but whatever. Maybe he had some times with Mike Davis. I mean, hell, maybe he had some times with Bob Knight at some point in the latter stages of his tenure there. But I've never seen it at this level. There's no doubt. People are just saying, you know what? I'm not going to mess with it. And hell, that's the only way you can watch it is on TV now. All right, 239-1070 is the number. If you guys want to respond to it, you can. Haircuts, huh? The barber had COVID. Hey, JMV, when Costanzo retired this offseason, one of the people he talked to about walking away early was Andrew Luck. Had Luck even hinted about coming back? Do you really think Costanzo walks? And it's Luck who encouraged his friends and left tackle to walk away. Fat chance. I surely haven't. I told you. I hadn't heard it. Not a thing. And then, Mike Austin's tweet that kind of, I guess, it caught fire because it hit nationally. And, hashtag Greeny's been talking about it forever. How many times that dude's got to be wrong more than anybody on the radio? And then you blame being wrong on a hot take. I got a hot take. Which all that means is, well, my ass was wrong. I got a hot take. All right, 239-1070. By the way, too, and I said this at the outset of the show, I never dismiss, and people always say, well, this guy doesn't cover anything. How can you trust him? When we're talking about scoops from, just people in general, right? But remember the Brad Stevens thing? 5 stinking minutes. And it was my final day on a Friday before I was going to Florida on vacation. And like final 30 minutes of the show, Tony was on the other side. And Tony goes, hey, I just got a guy that just called and said that Brad Stevens is going to take the job and become the next head coach of the Boston Celtics. You want me to go with it? And I said, the last thing I want to have happen here is to be catfished 30 minutes before I have to go on vacation and have to have people tweet at me nonstop on vacation telling me how stupid I am. 5 minutes later, news breaks. Brad Stevens of the Celtics. So, it can't happen. It can't happen. It doesn't have to be anybody that covers it.
Somebody that was working at a liquor store broke the news that Mahomes signed that big extension in the offseason.
Yeah.
He beat Schefter.
Right.
That was a big story.
Yeah, the liquor store. Yeah. It can happen. Just random folks can find out, can cut it loose. We had the dude about the whole snowboarding thing that called on the show. And Tony put on back then. And see, Tony, like Kyle and I, we go home. Tony back in the day never went home, and Tony knew every Uber driver there is to know. So any Uber driver that had any scoop immediately called Tony. Hey, Tony, I know I took you home at 4:30 in the morning. 239-1070. Let's see who's next. Scott, line 1. You're on the show. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Hey, Steve, how are you today?
Great, buddy.
I met you about 30 years ago at some keg parties in Vincennes.
You did. Did I act like I had some sense? Was it Busch Light Draft that we were drinking?
I didn't realize it till a couple years ago that we did.
Were we drinking Busch Light Draft? Was I with Jeff Williams and Poodle Baxter?
Probably. It was BLD at $7.99 a case. Cold. Hey, so I wanted to comment on the Andrew Luck thing.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's meeting, let's just legit in their meeting. Is it really crunch time to where Andrew Luck has the bargaining power here to go to the table and say, Mr. Irsay, this is what I want? Is it down to the wire yet for that to happen? Or
well, that would have to be staked in reality, and that's not true.
In the office, what was the thought when Phillip Rivers came that, hey, we're going to have a successful year. This guy's going to stick around. He's going to be hell like Tom Brady.
Yeah, this
we got it.
Yeah,
we're there.
Scott, their thought was this. Their thought was you bring him in at the age of 38, and you sign him to a 1-year deal. Therefore, you don't handcuff yourself if things just go off the rails and it doesn't work out. And you do this with hope that he plays well enough and your team does well enough to where you could ask and he would agree to come back for 1 more year, thus giving you a little bit more time to longer term figure out your quarterback situation. But that didn't happen because he stepped away, and now they're wallowing in the mire of what happens when you get in the quarterback abyss in the NFL. You're one of those teams that Colts fans for so many years could point the finger at and go, man, we're glad we're not them. Colts fans are them now.
Gotcha. How would his popularity be around the Indy area? Do you think he'd be welcome with open arms, or do you think,
Andrew Luck?
Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, people would piss and moan about it a great deal, but that would be probably overridden by the fact that this team needs a quarterback, and they're chasing down any possibility right now. You name any quarterback, and a lot of folks around here are going to go, oh, yeah, we'll take him. He'd be great. So,
hey, thanks for your time.
Yeah, Scott, thank you. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Even one that quit on you 2 weeks before the start of the season. Oh, yeah, it'd be great. Oh, that guy quit 2 weeks before the start of the season. Yeah, great. Really, there's not a lot of quarterbacks out there that 100% of Colts fans would agree would not work out right now, because you're looking, what do they say? You're looking for any port during the storm? Yeah, that's everybody right now. Oh, no. There's no way that Mike Hunt, H-U-N-T, is calling this show. Please don't give Kyle that name. That is so Porky's of you. This is from MJ. JMV, the Colts, with no left tackle, have as much chance signing Andrew Luck as Rebel Wilson signing in the bio of Stormy Daniels. I cheated with a Cheeto. What? I don't even know who's Rainn Wilson. Stormy Daniels is like the porno chick, right? Thanks, MJ. What in the world? Hey, JMV, has anyone addressed the possibility of trading a second or a third round pick for Marcus Mariota? Somewhere somebody has, Jeremiah. Yes. Somewhere somebody has. That seems like a lot right there to give up for Marcus Mariota, but somewhere somebody has probably brought that up. I guarantee it, because everything has been brought up. No doubt about that. Absolutely. Somewhere. Rainn Wilson. And who's Rainn Wilson? See, normally I know this stuff.
Rainn Wilson, he's Dwight from The Office.
Well, he's not even a chick.
Rainn Wilson is not a chick, no.
I'm sorry, Rebel Wilson. Rebel. Who's Rebel? That is a
I've
chick.
heard the name. I don't know who she is. I think an actor, an actress, maybe.
Man, I feel bad. I got to know this stuff. That's just absurd. An Australian actress. She's Australian for actress. That's Rebel Wilson. Sorry about that. Man, getting all discombobulated and everything right here. Yeah, if there's been a quarterback that has just been this, I mean, here's where we are. I mean, my man Mike Austin started something yesterday. You got to give a shout out to Mike Austin because people nationally are picking this up and talking about it. I mean, the Greenberg show, he'll do like 3 segments on that and 3 segments on the Jets tomorrow. So be ready. It'll be great. Crazy. All right, quick one. We'll return. If you're on hold, I'll get to you. Bowen, top of the hour, did a great job on the show yesterday. Really did. Kevin Bowen coming up at the top of the hour. Oh, Kyle's got to go have dinner because this is a Pacer night. So there's Eddie Garrison. Pacers-Bucks coming up later on tonight. The Pacers did exactly what they needed and should have done last night. Easy. I mean, that's the type of response that everybody expected after that embarrassment of Sunday night and losing that 20-point lead and losing the game without Joel Embiid in the lineup for the Sixers. Did exactly what they needed to do. We'll talk about that matchup. Pacers-Bucks coming up later on tonight. Marshall Faulk a little bit earlier, Podcast 107.5, thefan.com. Back with you next.
Hubler Auto Group has 8 brands to choose from and thousands of vehicles in stock. Plus, all new vehicles come with a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty included. Visit drivehubler.com.
Need plans for the big game coming up on Sunday, February 7th? Head to the fan contest page today to win a $250 gift card from Twin Peaks to be used on that night for you and 9 guests.
Hey, it's time to check out the brand new Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Greenwood. This place is unreal. It's like a sports bar for your head. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Greenwood on State Road 135, just north of Smith Valley Road. Get an unbelievable haircut, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment for a great price. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men has won double-digit men's styling awards, and their talented stylists are delivering the best haircuts in all of Indy. On State Road 135, just north of Smith Valley Road. Lady Jane's in Greenwood, it's wicked awesome.
Hey, this is John for FanDuel Sportsbook, everybody. FanDuel Sportsbook, the 55th edition of the big game. Exclusive 55-1 odds boost for you coming up for your new users here, right? So if you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, now's the time for new users because you can pick either team, the Buccaneers or the Chiefs, get 55-1 odds and bet $5 to win $275 if you pick the winner accurately for the big game coming up on February the 7th. It is so easy to use. When you win, you get your money back quickly. The odds boost unmatched, and live betting is so much fun. We've realized this, right? I mean, even if you don't have a great deal, and you will in this game, but if you don't have a great deal of interest in other games, a little skin in the game during live betting makes it so much more enjoyable. So if you're new to it, download it right now. FanDuel Sportsbook. Use that app. Use my promo code JMV2. That's FanDuel Sportsbook. Promo code JMV. 21 plus and present in Indiana. New users only must wager on designated boost market deposit required. Max bonus $275. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Was still wiggling on the plate, and I swear it looked up.
When you don't need to hear about Jason from accounting's dinner.
The little black curly hair on the edge of the plate.
Google Encore Sound.
Okay, love you.
Love you too, Pudge Muffin.
When your personal calls need to stay personal.
After you finish that spreadsheet, I need these reports filed. Pudge Muffin.
Google Encore Sound. When silence becomes a distraction, Google Lencore Sound.
Like the station, Lencore is a subsidiary of EMS Communications.
Bob's Discount Furniture presents Bob Opera.
We watch a lot of TV shows these days. We all know why. We're stuck inside. You need a nice new 5-piece sectional that can recline and hold your wine. Bob's Discount Furniture is everything you need. No phony sales and gimmicks, low prices guaranteed. His name is Bob and it's his way to bring you value every day. Visit and you'll see Bob's Discount equals quality.
It's not discount furniture, it's quality furniture at a discount.
Get Bob's Discount.
Let's face it, football fans, 2020 was kind of like... Ouch. But Unibet Sportsbook is betting 2021 is going to be a bit more like... And it starts with the big game. Sign up for $20 free today, $21 on game day, and two $250 risk-free bets. Let's do 2021 better. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Have I told you lately how great CarX Tire and Auto is here in Central Indiana? The Joe Childers Run locations are the best. They have 13 in all. You can find them, CarX.com. Let's talk about some of these deals. You can save $140 on a set of 4 tires. Major brand names, too. Continental, that's what I got on mine. Cooper, General, and more. And CarX Tire will meet or beat and do this during a competitive tire offer. It's great, really is, for all Indianapolis area locations. Also, they have a road-ready package for $99.99 to make sure that the rest of your winter months you are good to go with a synthetic blend oil change, coolant exchange. We got tire rotation, brake inspection, best tires, standard wiper blades, all that to make sure you're road-ready during the winter months. We're in the teeth of this right now. All you can find at CarX. Central Indiana locations like Micah and Kevin and the gang on 135 in Greenwood. The Joe Childers Run CarX locations. Find them, CarX.com today.
The Butler Bulldogs host the DePaul Blue Demons Saturday at 11:30 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Coming up, our conversation.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, Kevin Bowen, top of the hour. Thank you for joining us today. Pacers-Bucks coming up later on tonight. Shout out to all my dudes there inside the lounge. You guys want to wave back right there? I'm waving at you guys right now inside the lounge on YouTube Live. Vic Bark says Miles Turner is getting better each week. Indeed, Miles Turner is getting better. And I love people saying it. Good for him. In fact, Miles this season, 6 20-point games through 19 that he's played this year. He had 5 total a year ago. So Miles is taking advantage of, and he's got to love Nate Bjorkgren. He's taking advantage of that. And I mentioned both Miles and Doug McDermott. Of any two players on that team have probably taken the most advantage of that coaching change. 22, 11, and 5 blocks for Miles last night in that win over Memphis. Hey, JMV, my son Eli and I are driving to go shoot some hoops, and he is wondering where you think the Pacers will end up seeding in the postseason if they can get healthy. Do you think that they will creep into the top 3? That might be difficult right there. I don't know when Warren is going to be back and how much of an effect he might have on any type of seeding. And, trying to figure out when you're going to see LeVert is even more difficult. So it'd be tough. It'd be tough, I think, inside the top 3. I just kind of want to see him hang on here. Tough stretch for real. 239-1070. Let's go Cameron, line 3. Cameron, go ahead.
Hey, JMV. How you doing today?
I'm great, Cameron. Thank you for the call.
Yes, sir. What I want to talk about right now is Aaron Holiday and how I want to see him taped to the bench tonight.
A lot of people would agree with you. Yeah, a lot of people would agree.
I get it. He has a high ceiling and there's a lot of potential there, but I've been hearing that for a couple of years and seen it about once every 5 games. Edmund Sumner gives us a lot more defense, and I think he just fits into his role better and stays within his role a lot better.
Yeah, and I agree with you. The problem you're going to have, I think that even with the struggles of Aaron, he gives you, and you're right about the defense. Aaron gives you more of maybe on a given night offensive potential, offensive pop off the bench than Sumner does. But believe me, I get what you're saying here, Cameron. I do, because maybe one out of every 8 game, I think you're satisfied, and that's not enough.
Yeah, exactly. And I just keep hearing everybody saying, "Oh, our guys keep getting blown past on the perimeter," and that doesn't happen that much to Edmund Sumner in my eyes.
Yeah, it is kind of in a spot right now where I don't think these guys, for the most part, can stay in front of their man, but I also think that they I think at times they just they filter him. Yes, they filter him down to Miles when he's in. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, get aggressive on the edge if you got the shot blocker back there to protect you.
That's why Miles is saving their ass right now. Everybody can finally thank me for that knowledge right here, Cameron. Thank me. So,
yes, sir.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you. Call anytime. At JMV, so can we finally admit that cutting Manning for Andrew Luck was a mistake? Can we just go ahead and do that? I'm sure most would agree with you wholeheartedly by now. Although, my plan of keeping Manning and having Luck learn under Manning, while maybe the worst take of all time back then, what about that now? What about it now? At JMV, Sumner and McConnell together would be the worst offensive backcourt ever. There are some spots, like the other night, you could just kind of tell that the McConnell effect was not taking shape late, and you probably should have adjusted to that. But, man, most of the time, he's going to give you a shot of adrenaline, and I do like it. I don't think I think they're going to go and hope more that if it's going to pop with Holiday, it's going to pop offensively. But I understand the arguments here, I do. And I know that you have a lot of them. Jason's line 4 is next. Go ahead, Jason. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Great. Thanks for the call.
So, all right. I got a plan for quarterback.
All right. Quarterback plan, Jason. I'm writing it down. Go ahead.
All right. So, considering who we're dealing with, known as the imbeciles of the Houston Texans, what we do is we convince them that since we are more north than Cincinnati, we are actually moving to the AFC North, so we will no longer be in the Texans division. Then we trade them 5 first-round picks, St. Elmo's, and the Lombardi Trophy from 2006 to Deshaun Watson here.
So you're going all in for Deshaun Watson, huh?
I think if we trade that one Lombardi, we get 10 more.
I'm telling you this, Jason. Thanks for the call. That if they thought that they would have just the slightest of chances, I mean, I would be upset if they didn't go all out. If they thought they had the slightest of chances. But I just don't think that's the case. They don't think that's the case, and here we are. All right, quick one. We shall return. If you're on hold, I'll get to you. Kevin Bowen was great on this show yesterday. I appreciate him sitting in for the 3 hours. And shout out to Fisher Farms down in Jasper. Thanks for the meat. Great meat you can find. I think at, what do they call? They got a goose place around here, Goose Meat. What's the goose place? Goose Pond? The Goose Meat place? I can't think of the name right now. I think I'm just hitting all around it. It's right there in the center. Goose something. They have Fisher Farms products at the Goose Meat place. Well done. Shout out to Fisher Farms in Jasper. Bowen's with us next.
Sports with Dan Dockich.
John Salisbury. I have people emailing me. Chris Ballard isn't doing his job. And I'm thinking to myself, it takes two to tango here, baby.
That's the thing about trading. This isn't free agency. When they say Chris Ballard isn't doing his job because he didn't want to part with more than 2 first-rounders, a third-rounder, and a big-time player for Matt Stafford, listen, people want to panic. We got to get it done now. I'm not worried about Chris Ballard finding one.
Dan Dockich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
It is John for Love, Heating, and Air. We are going to plunge. It's an Arctic dome or an Arctic bubble or an Arctic blast or something. We're going to hit single digits. We got to make sure your heating unit's doing the job, making sure you are warm and comfortable in your home while, if it's not working efficiently, costing you money that you don't see until you get that bill, and it's an eye popper. Now, that's what John and Chris Love can help you do, and they're great staff making sure that your heating unit's doing what it should. 317-353-2141. It is so essential. That number, 317-353-2141. All right. iWave is a state-of-the-art air purification system in your home. So I have found out that my air is not that pure. My air is about as pure as me. All right? So that's not pure enough. What we need to purify our air. We're going with the iWave. You should too, because we have a great deal. You mentioned my name upon purchase of the iWave at Love Heating and Air. They're going to give you $125 off. Have your air more pure than me. State-of-the-art iWave with Love Heating and Air. 317-353-2141 online, love-hvac.com today.
Hey, it's Big Joe, and we know that anything can happen in a game, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't bet with confidence. BetMGM invites new customers to experience their favorite sports like never before with a risk-free first bet of up to $600. Just sign up using the bonus code BIGJOE600, place your first wager, and get your stake back up to $600 in free bets if you lose. The fearlessness doesn't stop there either. Enjoy BetMGM's innovative parlay selection features, live betting options, daily boosted odds specials, and much more. All you have to do is download the BetMGM app or go to BetMGM.com and enter that bonus code BIGJOE600 to get up to $600 in free bets on your first wager. Bet confidently on basketball, hockey, and all the sports action at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years of age or older to wager. If you know somebody who has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. We're a month into 2021. Mortgage interest rates are still sitting at these all-time lows, but we don't know how much longer that will last. Don't miss your opportunity to lock a rate in the twos. You could be saving hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with a simple refinance. Start saving now before it's too late. The 5-minute loan approval only available at thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, John. It's my friends Darren Andrews, 888-724-5129, PAI, WeGrowHairIndy.com. You know what they've done for me? It's magnificent. Real growing hair again. It's almost like I'm back in the day and it's 1984 and I'm sitting in that seat, that window seat at the Bloomington College Mall of Command Performance. And Debbie is about ready to give me a bi-level trim, just so I can butt cut this, part it down the middle, feather it back, and put the comb in my back pocket. I now, because of PAI, carry a comb in my back pocket because I need it. If you would like to carry a comb in your back pocket because you need it again, PAI is the place. 888-724-5129. Your real growing hair again if you have noticed that it is disappearing slowly. 888-724-5129. That private consultation with Darren Andrews today or WeGrowHairAndy.com.
Place your sports bets at BetRivers.com. You'll find a massive number of basketball betting options. Bet point spreads, money lines, and game totals directly from your mobile device. Use one of our 12 easy deposit methods to get in on the action. And when you win, we pay fast. We pride ourselves on our quick and easy payouts. Sign up now. We'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, more action, more fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service? Do you need to find a well-trained dealer like Marshall Mechanical in Franklin? We'll find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, WIBC, HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Thursday's Fan Morning Show features Scott Agnes with the Pacers-Bucks recap, Zach Kiefer and the Colts quarterback search, and the latest on Major League Baseball's spring training opening with Tucker Barnhart from Arizona. See you at 7.
The Ride with JMV.
This will be the high point of my day. It's all downhill from here.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Marshall Faulk, the Hall of Famer, a little bit earlier, podcast 1075thefan.com. So I actually listened to a minute or two yesterday, and I think it was with Greg Rakestraw. Kevin Bowen was in for me. Keep this up just for a second, okay? And Greg had mentioned Whitesnake because Here I Go Again was the re-entry song. And Kevin Bowen knew exactly via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline who Whitesnake. You know Whitesnake? Do you know this is a Whitesnake song right here?
No, my Whitesnake.
All right, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, Kev. I want you to crank it up right here so Kev can figure out what this Whitesnake song means. Crank it, Kyle. Slide it in. I ain't never gonna stop. You know what that means, Kev? You know what this song's about?
I'm a little nervous to say. It sounds like something that you would have played for me about 10 months ago.
You think, who out there, let me see a raise of hands right here inside the lounge. Who knows or who believes Kev knows what this song means from Whitesnake in 1984? Slide it in right here. I was impressed because you got Here I Go Again, but yeah. Second day, Slide It In is still a classic from Whitesnake too. You should know this.
I feel like Here I Go Again is one of the more popular.
Oh, it is. It's their biggest chart. Is This Love, and Here I Go Again were their big pop chart, American Top 40, Billboard Hot 100 chart toppers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since you've played the old sliding it in sort of music. So talk about a time that I don't miss on our Wednesday 5 o'clock chat.
I was thinking Slide It In. My second choice was Take Me Down Slow and Easy, but I went with Slide It In just for you. So.
I was shocked, honestly, that Rake brought that up. But I was like, yes, I know this song. That song. Here I Go Again was on a college playlist of mine.
We had a JMV Sucks concert with Whitesnake about 4 years ago, and it was awesome. Absolutely
where
awesome.
Was that at?
Over at the Mirah, Old National Center. It was great. Great. So.
Rake was talking about that yesterday and said it was a blast.
Oh, man. I can't wait. That's one of the things I'm hoping for here. I cannot wait until we get to have concerts again. I've missed a lot of things, but live music, live concerts are right at the top of that list for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm nowhere near the music buff by any means that you are, but, like, I'll go to concerts that, my wife obviously wants to go to, and I don't have a whole lot of interest. But you go there and you watch someone perform and, like, see the entertainment, see the passion, see the talent, and just how, like, a crowd reacts to that. Like, I find myself like walking out of those events being like, I'm so glad that we did that. Even though, again, you know, it would have been my first choice, but and obviously we're much more used to it on a sports landscape. But yeah, from a concert, live event, it's just so fun to look forward to and be in that environment.
Yep. Hopefully we get that again soon. Hopefully so. It's Kevin Bowen with us. You did a great job yesterday. I want to thank you for doing that, especially yesterday and then back when I was out on Friday. And we got to give some love to Fisher's Farms down in Jasper because they are a meat place. And I didn't know they had it at Goose Market. They have Goose the Market has the Fisher Farms meat here?
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. I actually used to live right there by Goose Market and didn't realize that. But I've had it. Unfortunately, this restaurant closed, I think, because of a little bit of COVID issue. But next door, which is like at 46th and College, which is kind of near where I live right now, they had a bunch of locally sourced stuff, and Fisher Farms was their meat of choice. So I'm a big fan, and I was telling them yesterday that my sister-in-law is from Jasper, so they talk about generous. I mean, just great. Sounds like great people there, and love it.
I bet your sister-in-law can drink. I've never met the chicks from Jasper drink like nobody's business. I mean, it is incredible.
Yeah, we have had this conversation before. I mean, she can throw back some wine. I don't know if she's going the whole. What's the beer place down there?
Strassenfest is what they have. The festival. That?
Yeah.
You're talking the Schnitzelbank for the Das Boot. Yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Well, I went to Indiana State with a bunch of Jasper chicks, and they like rolled up with half-gallon glass bottles of whiskey. They weren't fooling around, man. I go, good Lord.
I think part of your admittance into Indiana State, girl or boy, is probably can you finish 90% of a case in 30 minutes or something like that. To me, that's kind of part of the requirements to get in.
That is
through the SAT. Let's just see this.
That is the great Indiana State University right there too. That's one of the reasons why.
Winners of 6 in a row.
6 in a row. Hey, right now carrying the flag for the state in college basketball. How about that? 6 in a row.
Yeah, I'd ask Rake about that yesterday. He was scheming up a little thing that maybe you need to try and get. You know, if Drake and Loyola decide that their resumes are good enough, which I think Drake, without a doubt, Loyola maybe. I don't know. I don't know if their resume is that good, but if they just say, "Hey, screw the Mo Valley tournament, we're good. We're in the tournament. Let's let another team from the MVC get in."
I like that idea. I like that's a hellaciously great idea. I should have been here for this with Greg yesterday.
That was all Rake. Yeah. So tell your boy Greg Lansky and maybe try and scheme that up with some of his coaching buddies in the conference.
Well, I mean, you're going to be missing, a lot of the storied programs. One we got to watch last night, losing overtime again. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, and I know you're an IU guy as well. I can't remember a time when people just didn't care because they knew what the outcome was going to be and just kind of shut it off as people tuning out IU basketball right now. And beyond the losing and all that, apathy is the worst thing that is happening to this program right now. And, you really got one thing to do with it. I don't know what else you do at this point because it's not going to go where people envision this thing going. It's just not going to make it there.
John, I found myself cheering for the game to end. I was like, why is this game taking so long? Yes, we know full well how the end of the story is going to be. And the fact that in a year where we are craving sports and entertainment and some escape, the fact that I watch that program and routinely do that, then that just shows you, where Archie Miller has that program at 4 years. And like in a massive February conference game on your home floor, coming off a long layoff and a disappointing loss at home, your upperclassmen, one of them's not even dressed, not playing coach's decision. Like, what the hell is that? Is this the NBA?
I mean, he did some jackassery was going on there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Tennessee, is scoreless and fouling out, and Illinois got, their stars not maybe playing to the level that you would think, and yet they have several guards make some huge plays down the stretch. So just flat out disappointing on so many levels. And like you said, John, I'm by no means any diehard IU basketball fan, but from friends of mine that certainly are, the word apathy I think is a perfect way to describe where their feelings are at right now.
I don't know how you get around it. I've never seen it, and I've watched IU forever. And I come from around an area where people love IU basketball, and that's the only thing they care about. And, people have turned it off, and they're not paying attention. And it is not going to happen the way when they hired Archie Miller they thought, or many thought, it's a grand slam hire or whatever. It's just not going to happen that way. And I don't see how you get yourself in this program and this apathy behind you without doing something about it. I just don't.
I don't see light at the end of the tunnel. Like people were, and again, what the hand that Tom Crean was dealt versus the hand that Archie Miller was dealt, two totally different circumstances. I mean, Tom Crean is begging, kids in dorm rooms to come out and play for his basketball team in that 2008 season. And yet, at this point, here's this Cody Zeller, and you saw Oladipo and Sheehy, guys that kind of, complement what you had in that 2009 class, which really they paved the way, I think, for Tom's best seasons. And then what you have right now is you're losing Trace Jackson-Davis next year. And there isn't some Cody Zeller type of recruit or some just, okay, here is what is going to be the program changer or is going to turn it around. And it continually is a program that once conference play hits here, they absolutely hit a wall and show, I think, more of their true colors and becoming, kind of a bottom feeder in the Big Ten, which, again, for 4 years running, the fact that your program was not in hell like it was when Tom Crean took the job just only adds to the issues in Bloomington.
It does. It does. Kevin Bowen, 107.5. thefan.com. I hate to ask about this, but I'm asking you because you're the one that did ask the question of Jim Irsay about Andrew Luck last week that I guess probably kind of paved the way for some of these hot takes and rumors we have. But I'm assuming, and I mentioned you had to ask that because the Colts don't have a quarterback. He's still around here. You have to ask. But Mike Austin's a dude that I know listens to this show. He actually has JMV Sucks tattooed on his body. He was the one. He's the one now that is famous for having that text between a friend of his wife's and supposedly Andrew Luck's wife, and this is all kind of blown up to proportions unexpected. What'd you think about it?
Yeah. I would say we should probably note since then Mike Austin has deleted said tweets and has also changed his profile picture for what it's worth. And
did he take my tattoo JMV Sucks off himself?
I think that's like Vegas, that stuff's coming home with you folks. Yeah, when Mike tagged me on that yesterday or a couple mornings ago, I guess yesterday morning, kind of forget when it was. I'm thinking to myself, oh boy. I did not believe it. I don't believe that Andrew Luck is coming back and playing football this season or again. The reason I asked Jim Irsay that question, John, I guess a couple of reasons why. Certainly, again, when you have the owner talk every 6 or 7 months and he continues to dangle the carrot, you have to ask it, first off. And then I get probably, and I would say more so in the last 4 or 5 months, random people, to the extent of Mike Austin, again, sending out Nicole Luck text messages that were, fake. No, but I do get some random people that are like, I'm hearing this. What are you hearing on Luck? And he is such an isolated individual that I actually put some ounce of stock into what people say because, again, his retirement shocked everybody. And so if he were to come back, we would all be blindsided.
And you're going to find out that way. You're going to find out through somebody that had to be walking by or something. Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, and Bob can probably point to this more, but I remember when Chuck Pagano was diagnosed with leukemia, Bob Kravitz, if I'm not mistaken, found out initially via a friend of one of Chuck's nurses who was working the cash register at the grocery store and literally recognized Bob, told Bob this. And again, I might have some of those layers wrong there, but then all of a sudden that's how, the first kind of morsel is put in front of Bob and here you go. So part of me asking Jim was all right, I'm hearing this more than I heard it after the 2019 season. Again, nothing of substance, but I'd be a fool not to ask the question, especially 50 minutes into the press conference when Jim has already talked about everything that you could ever imagine. So that's why I decided to ask him that.
No,
and
you had to,
like,
man. Somebody had to. I mean, and people go, oh, it's. I mean, you don't have a quarterback here, and he still lives here. And you got. I mentioned Mike Greenberg and what's his nuts there, Cowherd. They talk about it all the time, like it's an actual story, and just making these hot takes up. And ultimately, we have to address it because we're around here and we live this thing every day. It has to happen. If not you, it was going to be somebody else.
Yeah, and also, I mean, he is under team control contract-wise in 2021. I guess this is the final year when he signed that 5-year extension back in 2016. So, again, I just point to some of these reasons of why it was asked, why I don't like – I know some of my colleagues, or I think some people just see this stuff, and I'm not necessarily talking specifically about the Mike Austin text exchange, but they just literally laugh off, any sort of Andrew Luck, he's coming back. I don't go full there because, again, he shocked the hell out of us 2 years ago, and if he were ever to come back, while I think it's a less than whatever % chance, I don't want to look like just an outright idiot again or just be fooled because, again, he's such an isolated individual and his uncle's his agent. So it's not like Tom Condon or CAA or, whoever else is leaking these stories to, big time people around here. And of these randoms that have reached out to me, they're all in kind of different, areas. It's, I've heard from an ex-coach of his. I've heard from someone close to the team. It's not like all of them are lining up in the same sort of area. So I thought the text exchange was pretty ridiculous, obviously, for many, many reasons. But at the same time, until this team makes a significant move at quarterback, this story probably is not going to go away totally.
No, and it is funny. There's no doubt about that. It is funny. I just, you think about their quarterback situation right now, and until they find one, and they have a lot of time to do so still, but until they find one, this is probably not going to go away anytime soon. And again, I still think that the national folks are more in love with the storyline than we are. I just found it funny because it was Mike Austin, somebody that had JMV sucks tattooed on his body. And I will say this.
I didn't know that.
I hope. I hope if something does happen, ever that it's somebody like that breaks it and not somebody nationally. I do. I hope that. I would rather have that than somebody nationally end up breaking that. But I mean, when he retired, they thought they were going to keep that a secret the entire weekend, which was ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. They. I think Oliver was supposed to fly in on Friday, and then they were at the press conference then, and potentially thought about pushing it to Sunday and whatnot. And
instead, it breaks, so he gets his ass booed off the field. Yeah, great timing right there. That's wonderful. That's good. That's how you want it.
That's a great lasting image of Old Andrew. I always thought when he hung it up, John, 3 things would potentially get him to come back. One would be, does he get healthy? And then all of a sudden, the fact that he has to rehab any injury is no longer on his mind. And all of a sudden, okay, I want to do this again. 2 was kind of, all right, does he lose that competitive itch? Does he watch Jacoby Brissett or now Phillip Rivers celebrate in a locker room and with his teammates? And he can't recreate that, especially, he lives, very close to the facility. It's not like, this guy is isolated from the Colts by any means. And then third, it's like, now that his daughter is, a year and a half, is there any sort of, hey, I want, my kids potentially to see me play the game of football. And obviously Tiger Woods, it's taken quite a while for his kids to get to that age, but he's made it very clear. And, comparing Tiger Woods and Andrew Luck are probably pretty unfair because I think their morals are a tad different, but they've competed at the highest of levels. And do you want your kids to see you do that? Again, maybe that's not something that Andrew would ever have on his radar. So those are just always things that I thought about. But then every time I was just like, this guy beats to his own drum. And I think he's pretty content.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny. And you know what? I mean, after team control ends, this year, and then that could be everybody else's problem because that won't go away. I mean, anytime there's a big-name team out there that needs a call, I'm telling you, that's not going to go away still. It'll happen again next year.
Right, and then obviously once he is off team control of the Colts, he could go anywhere, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Not to get into crazy semantics with it all, but yeah, it's just one more layer, John. Again, I don't put really any merit to any of these, but at the same time, this guy is more unique than really any other athlete that I've certainly covered in quite some time to the lack of information that you get. So that's why, I just don't totally laugh at every little comment that comes out from this story.
So Kevin Bowen, 1075thefan.com, joining us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I think I've kind of slid now with the Stafford opportunity by the board. I don't know what makes more sense right now than some sort of veteran quarterback, relatable, connectable in here, and then maybe trying to trade up for somebody. I'm not becoming, this is what you need to do, but I'm almost resigned to the fact I just don't know what other options are out there for them to try to do what Jim Irsay talked about would be the best for that position last Thursday to you guys.
Yeah, the name that I floated around initially yesterday when I was filling in for you of just, okay, this guy would at least – it wouldn't be a disaster, or I don't think you'd be taking a big step back. And I don't know, maybe you would go a little bit further than you did this year, was Derek Carr. And then later last night, you have some people associated, on the Raiders beat mentioning that, they could listen to some trade offers. But then the more I thought about it, well, again, I do think Carr is a little bit better than what, people have of kind of the stigma. I'm thinking to myself, boy, if it's going to take 2 first-round picks to get Derek Carr, again, why not just believe that this is a draft class that, by all accounts, is one of the deeper ones we've had in, a few years, or going to be deeper than next year's class. Sounds like the early returns in 2022 aren't great. Can you not find one of the top 5 or 6 names that, or 2 or 3 or however many that you like, that Frank Reich has identified some traits that he really is interested in and thinks you can develop that player? And why not spend that draft capital on a younger, option and just let Frank kind of mold out of clay? Frank has done this with Carson Wentz, and he's gotten Andrew Luck to have a career year, and even Phillip, reached some heights this past season that he hadn't done in quite some time. But what if you get a clean slate? What if you get a guy that isn't, you're worried about scar tissue with Sam Darnold or scar tissue with Carson Wentz? What if you get a very fresh mind and a player that can come into your building and you can kind of mold? That seems to be the best route in my eyes. So that's kind of
and as of now, too.
Right now.
As of now, I mean, I'm kind of siding with you on this. It's not the best route for them to do what their owner wants them to do next year by any stretch of the imagination. Plus, what do you think they do with the left tackle position if they have to put something together to move up, which certainly would include 21 overall? I mean, is that going to be a free agency hired gun situation? How do you think they accommodate that?
Yeah, I think that's the most difficult element to this. And that's where I thought, while I didn't think Nelson at left tackle was the route that I would go, that's why I listened to you say that and think, wow, I mean, that does make a lot of sense. You wouldn't have to spend a huge resource, filling that need that you have at left tackle. So I don't know. I mean, stopgap at left tackle and free agency, it sounds so Band-Aid and just it doesn't – I mean, if you are starting a rookie quarterback, what if you're breaking down at left tackle, is that rookie QB going to be broken as well? So that's where knowing, Chris's belief in the offensive line as well, that's where I realized that what I think is the best path certainly might not align with how the Colts view things. They probably think to themselves, all right, can you go get the veteran QB like you said, not have to spend a ton of resources on that, draft a left tackle at 21, and then kind of like you did with Tarik Glenn to Peyton Manning and with Anthony Costanzo to Andrew Luck, you already have that left tackle in place for when you do make that move at quarterback. Granted, Peyton at 1 overall, Andrew Luck at 1 overall is a whole lot different than wherever the Colts, will be drafting in future drafts.
Man, I don't know how you come close to living up to any expectations, especially that of your owner, if you go that particular quarterback path. But that's where you kind of find yourself.
I keep on going back to, and this is, I think, part of the conversation that we had on Wednesday, and I expanded a little bit on it when I filled in with you, filled in for you, is, yes, Irsay, and obviously you are extremely plugged in, so you know full well, like, Irsay wants to win and wants to win now. But he also throws in that caveat of he's won a Super Bowl as an owner, and he really wants to win 2 in a decade. That's like, he keeps on coming back to that point and coming back to that point. And what is the best chance to win 2 in a decade? Isn't that long-term? Isn't that through the draft? Isn't that identifying someone making a big move? And, yeah, while you might and probably will have to take a step back in 2021 and maybe even 2022, but then if you can look 2 or 3 years down the road, and again, you know better than I, but I'm just thinking a little bit out loud here of, yes, he kept on saying, last week about win now.
Right. Yeah.
We're a Super Bowl contender.
You're
and
right.
all of that. But then he also would throw in those couple of other, the little caveats of, hey, 2 Super Bowls in a decade, this and that. Well, 2 Super Bowls in a decade. I mean, that's not Nick Foles. That's not Andy Dalton. I mean, that's.
No, you are right about that.
That's a draft.
You are right about that. Do you think fans around here would be cool with what you just said? Forgo next year, more than likely, it's just hypothetically, forgo next year and possibly the year after. So wait maybe 2 years to get back to where you are, or, then some 2 years later if they would be able to jump up and get, one of these young quarterbacks. And I guess I'll use Justin Fields because we both heard that's who they like. That's who they would covet. And who knows how that turns out. But if they were capable of jumping up and doing that, do you think people around here would be okay with that?
I think rational fans would be, and that might be too harsh. I hate to criticize what fans should cheer for. Part of me is like, I'm a huge Notre Dame fan. I want to see them win as many games as possible every single year. But then I also can sit here and realize, oh, wow, you've got the big recruit as a freshman. You might need to throw him into the fire, let him get some growing pains, go 6-6, and then you might have a couple double-digit win seasons after that. So, I made this point. I think I was either talking with Kyle during a break yesterday or even said it on air. Was last season fun for the Chargers fan base to watch, if there are any Chargers fans? Was that fun to watch? I mean, Justin Herbert gets thrown in there. Looks pretty darn good. A lot of close losses. Yeah, you're firing your coach at the end of the year, and I don't think the Colts would be in that boat. But, can you see a little bit of that light at the end of the tunnel of, instead of 11-5, maybe it is 7-9 or something like that. But, again, if you go out and get a Nick Foles or an Andy Dalton, who's to say you're going 11-5 again? I mean, you had the easiest schedule in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
And went 11-5 with, above average quarterback play. There's no guarantee you're going 11-5, especially without a left tackle and, the other needs that we talk about. So to me, it's not like outright tanking. I know fans hate that and hate the process and all that 76ers, BS and whatnot. But if you can look a little bit down the road and realize that position means so much, then I think most fans would realize that they could be patient. It wouldn't be great of necessarily you're maybe, again, being an under 500 team, and we're not used to that, consistently here over the last 20-some years. But if you reap the benefits in year 3 or year 4, it's probably worth it in my eyes.
So then Chris Ballard would be assuming that one playoff win in 5 years. Reich would be one playoff win in 4 years. And then you're kind of saying, I would assume.
That's where things get complicated.
I listen, there's nothing genius about that. I'm telling you, they're just not. Draft grade or not, whatever. There's nothing genius with that.
They, 20 teams, more than 20 teams have won a division since the Colts last won a division. More than 20 teams have won 2 playoff games since the Colts, won multiple playoff games. Obviously, everyone in the AFC South has won the division since you last did. Yeah, I mean, trust me, we're approaching some foreign territory, even for Jim Irsay as sole owner of this franchise as well. So it will take some patience, and the leash for Ballard and Reich, again, I don't think it's short at all in the eyes of Jim Irsay. It would get only longer, probably. And we can certainly debate that at a whole different time. Yeah. But that would be probably something that you'd have to look at if that's the path that you go down.
All right. Miles was big last night. I hope they have a good night tonight, but that's a tall order. Yeah, well, about that. I don't. Hopefully, let him settle for threes. Miles will get whistled for 2 fouls in like 5 minutes. I will say this. I mean, at least Nate Bjorkgren leaves him in. Justin Holiday about fouled out in the first quarter, I thought, last night, didn't he? How many did he have?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got foul happy. When Doug fouled out was a couple nights ago. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, do you put Brogdon on him and just yeah. I mean, Brogdon does so much for you on the other end of the floor. That's
just don't play a box in one, because I want Chris Singleton scoring 55 points tonight.
Chris Singleton. Yeah, you're gonna have Pat Connaughton coming off the bench and banging home threes against you if you're going.
That'd be tough, man. It's going to be tough for them tonight. But I said this earlier about the Pacers. They did last night. They accomplished last night what they should have and what was necessary. I mean, I fully expected what they gave last night after that embarrassment on Sunday.
Yeah, team coming off a back-to-back like Grizzlies were. You handled your business, and for fans that haven't gotten FS year, you got a chance to watch tonight. Obviously, you can listen.
Have you looked up their numbers doing on ESPN? Because we all crying. Well, we have. I don't anymore. I used to cry and whine about their lack of national television coverage. But it seems like when they're on national television, they really, really, really suck.
Yeah, I don't have the numbers, but I think you just
really. That's like 3 really sucks right there.
Yeah. I remember they got killed in Milwaukee last year on ESPN.
Really sucks. Yes.
Right before the pandemic and whatnot.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for yesterday. Let me know about the Fisher's Farms and the meat. Yeah. I'm ready for it. All right?
Will do. And, glad you got back to your roots with the old intro song there.
I did. And yesterday we went to Blooming Foods. I went to Wagon Wheel. I was all over. Any place that sold meat in Bloomington, I was around there.
Boy, that sounds like JMV heaven right there.
Odin Meat Locker. I was there bright and early at 8 a.m. ready to rock. So, yes.
Gosh, we'll be having a hell of a Super Bowl party come Sunday.
All right, buddy. Thanks. I appreciate you.
Yep. See you guys.
Kevin Bowen, 1075thefan.com. Quick break. Back with you next.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo. What is Zipline? It's Golden Oak's fast and easy online mortgage tool that leaves you with more time to plan a family movie night.
I get to pick the movie.
And clean up the popcorn you weren't planning on sharing. At Golden Oak Lending, we speak mortgage and love translating it. Right now, rates are at a record low 1.875%. Visit goldenoaklending.com to use Zipline. NMLS 114937. 1.875% fixed. 2.913% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hey, it's JMV, and I've been a mess on Valentine's Day forever, never getting it right. Seems like whatever I buy is just not the right thing, does not hit the mark, and is normally rushed. That's why I love the fact that I'm with FTD this year, because FTD's bouquets are expertly arranged and delivered by local florists. For a limited time only, you can save 20% on your next purchase from FTD by visiting ftd.com/JMV. This is such a great deal going on. I'm always in for hassle-free, and let FTD do the work for you. And their bouquets, their arrangements look incredible. So don't sweat it this Valentine's Day. Send the gift, a bouquet of flowers from FTD. And for a limited time only, you can visit ftd.com/JMV and save 20% on your next purchase. That's 20% off at ftd.com/JMV.
This ad for Hellsberg Diamonds has been specifically written for people who would rather think about football than engagement rings.
If we're going to sign a new quarterback to a long-term contract, it'd be great if there were some guarantees. And if that quarterback were a diamond from Hellsberg, there would be a price match guarantee, meaning you won't find better quality at a better price anywhere. That guarantee would make it easier to sign that quarterback, and at Hellsberg, buy that engagement ring. All made possible by one of Hellsberg's great financing options. Visit your local Hellsberg store or at hellsberg.com. Hellsberg Diamonds, a Berkshire Hathaway company.
Hey, John here for Connecticut. Let's get you great water for 2021. Hard water is Indiana. Problem water is Indiana. If you don't have Connecticut, you don't have the best. Joe, John, and Dennis are going to give you the best right now for great deals on the Premier Series water softener, K5 in-home drinking water station. You can find these deals and then some at their 2 locations, Northeast Side Castleton, Southside US 31 and Southport Road. And Connecticut Water app. Download that to your smartphone or device. You can get all sorts of discounts and salt, accessories, and such. Informationally for Joe, John, and Dennis, everything is online. ConnecticutIndy.com today.
Hammer here for Indy's hometown sportsbook, Bet Rivers, BetRivers.com. If you've not yet signed up for a Bet Rivers account, check this out. They've got a super deal on the big game between KC and Tampa Bay. Make that first deposit of at least $100. Use the promo code BIGGAME500, and you could get up to $500 in free bets. Up to $500, baby. BetRivers.com. Must be 21 and over, a resident of Indiana. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
We go out as a group of guys and former players, and they are just blown away with how great my hair looks. I did the multi-unit hair grafting because I was tired of having to wear a hat.
My friend Rick DeMully, Indiana's own former professional football player, and I both know We Grow Hair Indy is the most trusted medical hair restoration clinic and the only company in the Midwest that has the ARTIST robotic FUE and multi-unit hair grafting. Call 888-724-5129 or go to WeGrowHairIndy.com. We Grow Hair Indy PRP treatments helps me keep my non-transplanted hair. Takes about 45 minutes, and this busy world, it's perfect.
Having the hair that I have now has just given me confidence and just making me feel good about myself.
This year, restore your confidence and grow your hair back. Call for a free in-office or virtual evaluation. 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com. Today, that's 888-724-5129.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Save big all February long at Big O with up to $190 off a set of Michelin tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Hey, John here for my friends. You got that right. It is FanDuel Sportsbook celebrating the 55th edition of the big game. Exclusive 5-1 odds on FanDuel Sportsbook. You're going to get that coming up Sunday, right? If you're a new user, 55-1 odds, Buccaneers and the Chiefs matchup. You can bet $5 to win $275 if you pick the winner of that big game coming up February the 7th. I love FanDuel Sportsbook. The most fun that I have is live betting. Live betting makes it so much more enjoyable. I mean, even you're going to love the big game here, right? But even if you're watching a game, you don't necessarily have a rooting interest, live betting makes it great. Product features and more. Just download FanDuel Sportsbook. Use the app and the promo code JMV. That's essential here. FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code JMV today. 21 plus and present in Indiana. New users only must wager on designated Boost market. Deposit required. Max bonus $275. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
You could be saving hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with a simple refinance. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
It's the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
Mike Wells.
You talk about one step forward, 2 steps back. We saw that in 2018. They took a step forward back when Luck led them to the playoffs. Then they took like 3 steps back when Luck retired. You take another step forward with the playoffs with Phillip Rivers. Now you're potentially looking at a step or 2 back, depending on who the quarterback is going to be next season. Not a great position to be in for the Colts.
The Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
Weekday mornings at 7
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Nachos, lemon heads, my dad's both. You won't go down cause my
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Thank you, Kevin Bowen, 1075thefan.com. Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk earlier. That podcast is up there too, 1075thefan.com. Eddie's in for Kyle. You guys have been fantastic today inside the lounge. You listeners, Twitter followers, emailers, callers, whatever. It has been a fantastic day. Thanks to everybody for what you're doing. My man Bobby Jefferson's not digging on our conversation about QB1 on the Colts in 2021. Where's that GIF or GIF or whatever of somebody jumping out a window? I need to put that up there. Jared Overman says, has Matt Ryan been discussed? Seems to be a similar situation to Stafford and the Lions. It was reported yesterday that Matt Ryan is going to be in the fold in the plans coming up next year for the Falcons. Nick Moore says, what about Derek Carr? Derek Carr, as far as a tradable asset with some dominoes falling the Colts' way, which, well, would be a first and forever, seemingly would make some sense, but some things would have to take place. And I double back to last week. Didn't Mike Mayock, was he not outspoken about how much that he likes the work that Derek Carr's done? Which probably means nothing. It's only your word, Mayock. So some things would have to go their direction. And then I'm going to ask you, when was the last time things went the Colts' direction? It seems like, yeah, it's exactly what it seems like. Hey, JMV, I saw you tweet out a picture of Morgan Fairchild. She was one of my favorites back in the day. Yeah, she was one of my favorites, no doubt. I don't know why I do know why. There's a movie called The Seduction back in 1982 with Morgan Fairchild. It really sucks, but it's great. It's like sucky and great at the same time. Catch my drift. Bill's at 239-1070. Bill, go ahead.
Hey, my man. You guys were talking about IU.
Yes.
I feel sorry for Don Fisher. Who was this guy that he benched last night?
No, Jerome Hunter was not dressed. Yeah, coach's decision.
Yeah, a coach's decision. I got a real problem with that.
Yeah, it means knuckleheadery, more than likely. That's we're reading the tea leaves here. There's knuckleheadery involved.
See, I called Dockage today, and I said that Archie Miller was mentally ill, and I got cut off.
Well, I mean, you don't want to say that, Bill. Come on, man.
But what I'm saying is, what I want to say
is, made a coach's decision. People, this is what is alleged, that something happened. He made a coach's decision, and if somebody gets out of line, you got to do that, Bill.
But I understand. But why? But, Rob Fantasy sucks. I don't care much for
well,
if it wasn't for Trace Jackson Davis, we wouldn't have anybody.
Yeah, Bill, it is a struggle. For sure. Man, Rob last night went triple goose egg, right? He go points, rebounds, and assists. The same as Eddie Garrison over there. And Eddie's not packing a Scully. Yeah, Archie threw the guys under the bus, and while they don't play well, I mean, come on. This is the product that you created in its fourth year. Man, this thing's going nowhere. Well, it's going somewhere, but it's not where anybody wants it to go. If anybody else sees better options out there and sees that glimmer of hope, that ray of sunshine, and they can go ahead and, shine that right up my rear end, because I don't see it. All right, quick one, final time. I'll re-rack you guys on hold, talk at you, get you to the top of the hour on a busy Wednesday. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Kids, tell your parents about Form's Sprout of the Month contest, where you could win $100 in a Sprout account. Details at 1075thefan.com.
Don't miss your shot. Get pre-approved today for your new home with our 5-minute loan approval. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, it's John here from my friends at Diamonds Direct. You guys ready? Oh, yeah, Diamonds Direct got you set up for Valentine's Day. All right. Where do we want to start with how you're set up for Valentine's Day? It is tremendous. I mean, really is. That perfect romantic gift that she will absolutely love, everybody, with Diamonds Direct. I mean, where do we actually begin with this? Because it is a great thing. And Diamonds Direct always comes up Valentine's Day with something incredible. Are you ready for it? 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything and everything. And that's exactly what they have. Best selection, best guarantees, best warranties, and already, even with this, the best price tag. One thing about Valentine's Day for us, fellas, is it being hassle-free. You can go big and be a hero for Valentine's Day with Diamonds Direct and keep it one-stop shopping, which for you is hassle-free. 5 years, 0 interest. Diamonds Direct, just in time for Valentine's Day. Again, 5 years, 0 interest. Again, online, diamondsdirect.com for store hours, details, so much more. Otherwise, it's you and one-stop shopping. Diamonds Direct, Keystone at the Crossing.
Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Greenwood is like a sports bar for your head. It's on State Road 135, just north of Smith Valley Road. Lady Jane's in Greenwood, it's wicked awesome.
Hey, it's Big Joe, and we know that anything can happen in a game, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't bet with confidence. BetMGM invites new customers to experience their favorite sports like never before with a risk-free first bet of up to $600. Just sign up using the bonus code BIGJOE600, place your first wager, and get your stake back up to $600 in free bets if you lose. The fearlessness doesn't stop there either. Enjoy BetMGM's innovative parlay selection features, live betting options, daily boosted odds specials, and much more. All you have to do is download the BetMGM app or go to BetMGM.com and enter that bonus code BIGJOE600 to get up to $600 in free bets on your first wager. Bet confidently on basketball, hockey, and all the sports action at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years of age or older to wager. If you know somebody who has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Andy Moore, Buick GMC in Fishers. Let me introduce you to my friend Eric Wilson, who runs things up there, and he and his staff are ready, willing, and more than able and capable of putting you in a new set of wheels. Of your choice, too, with great deals to start 2021. Why would you want to go any place else? For example, here, the brand new Buick Envision. You can get up to $10,000 off at Andy Moore Buick GMC in Fishers. The brand new Acadia SLE, that's 0 down payment, $249 a month. It is awesome. You will love it. That's what I have. I promise you that. And 0%, 72 months on all half-ton crew cabs at one place and one place only. Seriously, roll in there. You can talk a little hoop with Eric Wilson and then let Eric and the staff go to work for you on that new set of wheels at Andy Moore Buick GMC. Tell them I sent you. That's 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
Hi, I'm Rick Edelman, and I have a feeling that retirement is on your mind. You're wondering if you've saved enough or whether your money is in the right places. You're wondering when will you be able to retire or will you be able to stay retired? And is your money sufficient so you can live in comfort and financial security for the rest of your life? You're wondering all this, but you really don't have to just wonder. You can resolve all these questions in your effort to enjoy a retirement that's everything you want it to be. And we can help. At Edelman Financial Engines, our clients are predominantly concerned about retirement, your financial security for your spouse, for your aging parents, for your children. And we can help you just like we've helped thousands of folks just like you for more than 30 years. So call us at Edelman Financial Engines at 888-PLAN-RIC. That's 888-PLAN-RIC. Or visit us at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com. And don't wonder about your retirement because we're here to help you.
Hey, temperatures are falling. JMV here for LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526. That's Lance and the team. Local plumbing needs for you, especially in frozen pipe emergencies. And we may see that. We're dipping into the single digits coming up here this weekend, right? So make sure you're covered with the absolute best. If you find yourself in any plumbing emergency, it's LD Smith Plumbing to the rescue, 24/7. With after-hour service. They are great, and I mean absolutely great at LD Smith Plumbing. So keep that in mind. Temperature single digits. If you have an issue with your plumbing or frozen pipes, It is LD Smith Plumbing. Lance and the team to the rescue. 317-284-9526. Online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Let's face it, football fans. 2020 was kind of like... Ouch. But Unibet Sportsbook is betting 2021 is going to be a bit more like... And it starts with the big game. Sign up for $20 free today, $21 on game day, and two $250 risk-free bets. Let's do 2021 better. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Hey, my buddy, Swanson, full steam ahead, over there. I want to go over there. Move over, Swanson, I'm driving.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
I'm popular. Quarterback. Who sings this, Eddie Garrison? Couldn't tell you. I'm a cheerleader chick.
Being attractive is the most important thing there.
Never heard this before in your life? No, sir. Eddie Garrison has never heard this song before in his life. I love this song. I don't even know if it's a one-hit wonder because I don't know if it ever hit. One of those mid-90s alternative songs. Not a surf. Popular. Nothing. Hey, I've got excitement for you here. We've got an Anything Goes coming up here for about 20 minutes after 6. I neglected to realize on the big board that is put up on a weekly basis by our friend Todd Meyer that I have an Anything Goes until about 6:20. So if you missed any time today and you want to get in, you know the deal. You call, and we don't check you in. We just put you on hold. And then you come out swinging and talking about whatever you want to talk about. Anything goes. Top of the hour. Randall is at 239-1070 right now. Hello, Randall.
How you doing today?
Randall, I'm great.
My mind's spinning. I got the word luck on my mind, and I got an idea.
That sounds like a Ghetto Boys song. That's good. Keep going. Yeah, write some lyrics.
Or the Bullet Boys. I got an idea. I don't think that necessarily the Colts should go for the highest pick if they were to try to trade up in the draft. I think they should use the 21st pick to go on and get a big-time left tackle. And I think that they should use future draft picks. Obviously, that's what they're going to have to do to get up in the draft.
Right.
But they should try to get Ian Book from Notre Dame. He puts me a lot in mind of Jim Harbaugh, and I think he'll work. And I think when it comes time to really get a big-time quarterback, they need to wheel and deal over the next few years and get some more ammo in the war chest. And then when the time comes, they can go after a really, really big-time quarterback. Because, I like Carr, but if they go after him, it's going to be a lot like Stafford. They're going to know the Colts are in a bad position. I mean, you think about it, we're almost a dumpster fire waiting to happen. And so they're going to hold Carr for ransom. So I think that they should just go on and take the 21st pick, get a tackle. Who knows? If they get crazy and they were to land Deshaun Watson, you never know. Costanzo might say, hell with it, I'll come out of retirement. But that probably won't happen, obviously. At least it won't happen in Indianapolis. That's what I think they should do. That's what I think they should do. I think they should kind of go looking for the great value brand of Walmart and not try to get the very best quarterback that they got with their ammo in their war chest. And I think they should go after Ian Book. What do you think?
I wouldn't go after Ian Book, but I can't lie. I dig on great value. I do. You're right about that. Great value's legit.
Hey, the great value cookie dough is made by Toll House, by the way. So
is it better? What's the generic version of Target, and then Kroger? They also have generic versions too. Is the Great Value the best generic version out there?
I would say so because I know a manager works for Walmart, and they say almost all of their great value is made by name brand companies.
I like it. I like the great value.
All the butter, great value butter is made by Blue Bonnet. That's Conagra Food.
I had no idea. See, look at you dropping the knowledge on here, Randall. That's well done.
Hey, man. Cookies, porn, football. There you go.
Yes, Randall. You say cookies, porn, and football?
I hope that's what he said.
That's what I should call this show. I think I'm going to change the name from the Ride with JMV to Cookies, Porn, and Football with JMV. You guys like that? Cookies, porn, and football. Hey, JMV, we are in a bad spot. These veterans are not the answer. The rookies are fitty-fitty. So this is what quarterback purgatory looks like. Hell to the yes, it does. This is the quarterback abyss, everybody. Remember, I said this. You used to point fingers at everybody else, point fingers at other teams, other organizations. Hey, wow, you can't find one. How many quarterbacks have you had in 5 years? This is the quarterback abyss. For real. JMV, I was close to your mom's place today in GC calling on cattle customers. Ryan Hickey digs on the new name. Cookies, porn, and football with JMV. That's so up my alley, though. I think I could win an Emmy. And then, you know what I could do, Eddie? I could put Emmy Award winner. I'm going to put Emmy Award winner on my Twitter handle bio. Listen, and this is, you know, I love TV people here locally. But I could never do that. I mean, people are still going to think I'm a dip blank. Emmy Award winner. I am an Emmy Award winner. Yeah, that's because some station in Cleveland, they were all having beers after work one day and said, yeah, you know what? Go ahead. That's a good package. And, I mean, good Lord. Cookies, porn, and football. I like it. It could be an Emmy Award winner. If this were given an Emmy, I don't think radio's given an Emmy. What the hell do we get, a Marconi? Marconi Award-winning title. All right, I got an anything goes. You guys are lining up. Let's do that. Hey, by the way, the Colts hired Hall of Fame center Kevin Mawai as an assistant offensive line coach earlier today. I believe he used to be the player rep, didn't he? NFL player rep, Kevin Mawai. Good depth of football knowledge and a fantastic former player for real. Anything goes at 239-1070. Next.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook wants you to experience Rush Pay. When you want to cash out your winnings, you don't want to wait 2 days just to get the go-ahead to withdraw your money. That's why Bet Rivers created Rush Pay. With Rush Pay, 80% of withdrawal requests are approved instantly, meaning you'll get your money faster. Why wait? Get your cash when you want it. Bet with a winner. Bet with Bet Rivers Sportsbook at BetRivers.com. Must be 21 and located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. It's only February and homes are selling at a record pace. Inventory is super low and demand is at an all-time high. If you're even considering buying a home this year, you need to be working with the experts. Don't miss your shot. Get pre-approved today for your new home with our 5-minute loan approval, only available at thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, it's Rob Belushi from Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
Rob, why are you wearing wings and no shirt?
Well, Brian, love is in the air this month, so I thought I'd play Cupid with our customers.
Because you're short.
No, Brian. For Valentine's Day, we're going to spend the month helping our customers fall in love with a new or pre-owned car.
So, Car Cupid, where's your little bow and arrow?
Don't need them. I shoot straight with great deals all month long. $10,000 off any of our all-new 2021 F-150 XLTs and $8,000 off any Escape.
We also have 200 pre-owned vehicles looking for that special someone. 40 of them very attractively priced under $13,000.
Now you're getting it, Brian.
Prefer dating online? Check any car's personal profile at BillEstesFord.com. Who's Cupid now, Rob?
You are, buddy. Here, take these wings. I'll take my lunch.
But can I keep my shirt on?
Fall in love with $10,000 off any 2021 F-150 XLT and $8,000 off any Escape. And 40 pre-owned vehicles priced under $13,000. Your key is waiting at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
Hey, it's JMV. It's 2021, and we can all agree it's time for a change. Have 2021 be your year for worry-free water by upgrading to a revolutionary Connecticut water treatment system. Water affects every aspect of your life. You drink it, cook with it, shower in it, and now is the time to choose Connecticut and have the best water of your life. Connecticut has the most efficient water treatment systems on the market. They use zero electricity and use less salt than the competitors. Contact my friends at Connecticut today for that free in-home water treatment test. ConnecticutND.com. Now.
Small business owners, is your internet making office tasks painfully slow? Are your file upload speeds sluggish? Are your video calls choppy? You need more speed. AT&T Business Fiber gives you up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. Faster upload speeds mean smoother, less glitchy video conferencing and faster file transfers. Visit att.com/businessfast or call 844-661-FAST to get our best price on our best service. Imagine it, up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. AT&T experts can help you upgrade to AT&T Business Fiber. Soon, you're going to love your internet. Call 844-661-FAST now. Comparison by Telogical Systems, 12-2020.
Hey, it's JMV. I got to take a minute to give a shout out to FanDuel Sportsbook. They found the perfect way for everyone to get in on all the action this Sunday. I'm talking about Big Game Bingo. You can claim your free Big Game Bingo card right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. The card automatically fills up as you're watching the game. So once you've filled 5 squares in a row, all you have to do is call Bingo to claim your share of $100,000 in prizes. That's right. FanDuel is giving away $100,000 in prizes for free. FanDuel is the exclusive home for Big Game Bingo, and your card is waiting for you right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. The app is so easy to use, and it takes less than 2 minutes to sign up. There are more ways to win on FanDuel during the big game, but there's no excuse to miss out on this one. Big Game Bingo is perfect for everyone. You can win your share of $100,000 in prizes, and it's absolutely free to play, only on the FanDuel Sportsbook app.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Save big all February long at Big O with up to $190 off a set of Michelin tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, WIBC, HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
The Pacers head north to face the division rival Milwaukee Bucks this evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
JMV does not suck at all.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
This is your Emmy Award-winning host of Cookies, Porn, and Football with JMV. We got a little anything goes brewing here. Shout out to everybody again inside the lounge on YouTube Live. JMV, the Ian Book idea is terrible. Jason Pullen says Dollar General is the best. I love Dollar General store. Part of what I love about Dollar General store is this, because it's kind of an adventure. When's the last time you've been to Dollar General store, Kyle?
Oh, it's probably been a year.
All right. You haven't been there in a while? Well, I know they've been doing this for more than a year. You guys notice this? When you go to a Dollar General, they've got probably more stuff in the aisles and clogging the aisles than they do on the shelves. So you've got to navigate that bad boy. I love it. I mean, you got to walk around, climb over, climb around. And there's no telling what you find in there. It's like you're panning for gold in the late 1800s. You might not even notice, and all of a sudden, man, you trip over a box full of Chips Ahoy for $1.50. It's beautiful. I love you, Dollar General, even though you've never done 1 speck, 1 ounce of advertising with us, which is terrible, but I love you nonetheless because it's an adventure. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta get some trash bags, but I gotta climb over this pile of aluminum foil to get there. But it's worth the effort, and I love you, Dollar General store, and your clogged aisles. I always will, especially the one down in Bargersville. It's clogged aisle city down there, and I love you. Hickey says, does Dollar General have cookies, booze, and porn? I think they only have beer and wine. They have plenty of cookies and no porn. I'm certain of that. They do have gigantic cupped bras that sometimes you have to navigate around those too. Have you ever noticed that? You ever walk around the corner and there's a big gigantic cup bra there, and it's like a big net that comes out and grabs you. I buy all my socks and underwear there too. All right, anything goes. 239-1070. Shout out, and I love you, Dollar General. Line 1's anything goes. You're on the air. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Eric. How's it going today, bro?
Great, brother. Thank you for the call.
Hey,
go ahead.
Hey, just real quick. So first off, shout out for the Not a Surf song. That was awesome.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, come on. 94, 95.
You got it.
What are we doing? But, hey, quick point. Just what do you think they're going to do down there in Bloomington, man? I mean, like, they have not shown heart for years, and where's the shooting? I mean, where's the recruiting? You know, that's the first thing I'm thinking is, like, what has happened to that program?
Well, and here's the problem. When he got recruits, they weren't any good and didn't make the postseason and couldn't shoot.
Yeah.
And now he's not getting the recruits, and they're not doing it. So what's
right.
left? I mean, you just got to face the facts. This thing didn't work. I mean, you just do.
I know. And that goes back to just coming back to that whole thing of identity, right? I mean, they haven't had identity down there for years.
No, they don't.
Thanks for the call, buddy.
Hey, you call anytime. Thank you. It's over. Warmer dropped the big one. Only there's no Belushi, no Bluto line afterwards to fire everybody up. Listen, if anybody has any answers, any bright light at the end of the tunnel, I'd be willing to listen to it. But I just don't know what the hell that is. Because I'm a realist and because you watch. Or I take that back. You watch a little bit, then you bail on most of it. Yeah, Dollar General store. This is my man Clapper says the Jew to Dollar General is my mom's preferred spot to buy her lung darts when visiting. Pack a lunch when entering the Jew to Dollar General. I'm telling you what, it's an adventure. You got to climb over stuff. And don't let that big cup bra jump out and grab you when you're walking down the clothing aisle either, because it'll get you. Line 2's anything goes. Hello.
Hello, John. How are you, buddy?
I'm great. Go ahead.
Outstanding. This is Donk. Like I told you before, I'll tell you again. Good riddance to that ass hat, Victor Oladipo. Congratulations, LeVert. Look forward to freaking Warren coming back. Sir, we are a team that looks at destiny right now. I think we can do it. Your thoughts?
I hope they can. I just want to see them at full strength, hopefully, sometime. But yes, I do. I have a lot of belief in these guys at full strength together. Yeah.
How do you think Jeremy Lamb's going to fit in the mold?
Jeremy Lamb has been fantastic so far. He doesn't look like he's missed a damn beat. He looks better. To me, he looks better, Donk, than he was pre-injury here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, hey, nerds, rack me.
Donk. That is so awesome. Hey, JMV, Rivers retired because he heard Luck is coming back. The Colts aren't telling anyone, so that all the other teams wasted their draft picks on quarterback trades so the Colts can get the players they want. And he's laughing, LOL. Thank you, Patrick Wright. That's from Michael J. Smith. IU basketball is just like Nebraska in football. Remember when the program was relevant? There's nowhere to go. It seems like the Nebraska's like exhausted all their you got to get the former player, the former great, and they do that, and they still can't beat anybody. You may get, and you may not want to hear this, IU fans, you may get too far down the road, and there's no going back if you're not careful. I mean, there's no guarantee. Hell, I remember back in the mid-'80s when you're watching a Wisconsin game, it was a foregone conclusion when they played IU, they were going to win. You just thought, if anybody would tell you that Wisconsin would have, in the past decade plus, the type of resume, the type of time that nobody would have believed it back in the I wouldn't have. What? Back then, all they had was Rick Olson and his hairy legs shooting 35 times a game. My man had some hairy legs too, boy. Looked like he was like Teen Wolf. Line 3's anything goes. Hello.
Hey, JMV, what's going on, man?
Great, go ahead.
Okay, so over the past, 5-10 years, I've had kind of like a moment of clarity when it comes to the Colts, and mostly Colts fans. And I should say that's also me included, that most of us are okay with the Colts being routinely good rather than, like, occasionally great. And the reason I say that is because all the years we had Manning, we had 10, 11, 12-win seasons and occasionally won a couple of playoff games and routinely won the AFC South, but we only had one Super Bowl to account for it. So that's why I can't really call that team great. But right now, I think the reason that everyone is all up in arms is because, like, well, what do we do? Like, we're not really good and we're definitely not great. So I think we're just confused. Like, we're not used to dealing with this. I was just kind of curious to get your thoughts on that.
And thank you for the call. I would relive the Manning era again with similar outcome every day of the week. I think it kind of gets lost, and maybe even more so now because we're bombarded with information and technology, a lot of which still was not available. I mean, hell, you're talking about mid-2000s, and I'm working with Mark Patrick, and we've got email and calls. Man, Jim Rome had his big fax, and that was about it. I tell you, that time is so much better than going through this constant question mark of your quarterback. And listen, I got tired of that at the end of the Luck era, too. One of the reasons why I thought good riddance when he retired 2 weeks before the start of the season, knowing that he put his team and this organization in a horrendous spot, was because I was sick and tired of talking about, was he going to be ready? Is he healthy? Is he going to play? Is he going to be in Belgium? Any of this, it wears you out. I would take that era over any. Because you look back on that, I don't even know. And I guess that's more for me because I was also here whenever things were awful, when they sucked, when they were a joke, when, sometimes you didn't know if they were going to win a game. Duke Tomato would write a song, Lord Help Our Colts. Guys would sit up on billboards. People would refrain from having sex until the Colts won. And some weren't having it anyway, so it's not like it mattered. But, I mean, yeah. I'm not having sex. Well, you weren't anyway. Okay. I'm still not. Till the Colts win. But that era was just so spectacular. And I always say this. People say, you went through that era and you had Manning in the early years of Luck But, I mean, you went through so much losing. I thought everybody around here was deserving of that era. I mean, you waited for it, and you got a little bit of love in like a 3-week period at the end of the 95 season, got a little taste, and then, once Polian got here and Manning got here, I thought fans were owed that here because of what they had put up with, basically for the most part, since 1984. So I never thought that, fans are just used to this. Sure, You should, because that's what Jim talks about all the time. That's the level of expectation around here. That's what Manning did. That's what that era did. Built that level of expectation. I mean, otherwise, who cares? And Don Mikowski is going to come in and be your quarterback. Oh, well, great. Who cares? That's the level of expectation that era built. I've always been happy for that here. Having followed this team and been around this team, being around here all my life, I was always really happy. Knowing that, it wasn't here prior to 84 and you had to fight through Bears fans and Bengals fans, and when the Cardinals were in St. Louis, had to fight through Cowboys, Steelers. I mean, there were really no Colts fans. Now Colts fans, for the most part, that was built by virtue of the Manning, the Poley, and the Dungy era. Anything goes at 239-1070. You're up next. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, JMV? How are you, my man?
Jimmy! It's good to hear from you, buddy.
Hey, great. Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Hey, real quick, two things. One, fun fact about me that I've never told you before. My first sporting event back in Indianapolis was the 2007 AFC Championship game. First sporting event that I attended. So
that's awesome.
It's all been downhill from there.
That's awesome, Jimmy.
Hey, one last thing. On the Pacers, real quick. I think they're going to bust out again tonight. I think they're going to turn the trend around that you and Kevin were talking about of playing terribly on national TV, and I'm looking forward to tonight. Have a great night, John.
Hey, Jimmy, thank you. I hope you're right, because watching them on national TV has been brutal. Hey, the Pacers are on national TV, and listen, I stick with Chris and Quinn, don't get me wrong, but I used to be one kind of waving the flag of, hey, you don't get any respect, you don't have a national game, and then when they get on a national game, they suck, and I go, all right, you're better off without a national game. So true. Line one's anything goes. Go ahead, you're on the air.
JMV, Bubby, I'm your white knight. How's it going?
I love that. Ellis, what have you told them, Ellis? Ellis, shut up. Shut your mouth. Go ahead, buddy.
Been a while. So hey, I just had to call. I've been tweeting you for the past couple days now. Couple things. Can we trade Quinn? Like, is there any way we can trade Quinn?
Not trade the basketball analyst. No.
He's so cringeworthy. Like, Chris is so great on there, and then you're listening to him when he sits there and goes, "What president are you talking about? We're talking about our point guard, sir." Like, come on. Like, you know what we're talking about. That's number one.
Yeah.
And number two, are they playing Aaron Holiday just to keep Justin Holiday happy?
They are not. I think they're they're going as far as they can go with keeping him in a rotation because Kevin Pritchard clearly cannot draft in the teens.
But the second squad doesn't need really a scorer. You need a defender. Put in Sumner.
They think that they could strike a chord of consistency. I get what they're doing, but I also understand what you're talking about too, because at times it is a bit maddening. I think they're just showing that they're not giving up on him yet because they've had some reason to. Plus, I think missing a couple of guys. I mean, you already have the rotation the way it is. He's going to have to. I think you just trust that he's going to give you some offense at some point more than Sumner is ever going to. And to me, I think you're banking on that more than you're banking on the defense of Sumner.
I get that. It's just whenever I see him pass, it's a glorious day. Like we sit there and he made a great pass to DeMonis last game, and I literally cheered with my wife. Like, he passed the ball. Oh, my gosh. So, I'm sorry. Get rid of him. Trade him. Do whatever. Justin's amazing. But, Aaron, you're just too short for the league, and you can't defend. I'll let you talk.
Thank you. I don't mind Aaron, but I understand when people are kind of at their end a little bit. He can be frustrating. I'll put it that way. Be frustrating. I would have also said this. At the end of that Philly game, I might have put him back out there because that was the best game he's had basically all season long, and he sat the pine while everybody else stunk on Sunday. Line two's anything goes. Go ahead.
Coach JMV, I
Yes,
love this. I heard you talking about never knowing what to expect earlier from your fifth-grade girls, correct?
Yes, it's a box of chocolates. You don't know if you're going to come out and score points or not, and yes.
Brother, man, I coached 4 seasons in the CGGBBL, and all I can tell you is this. Whatever you do, hold a parents-only meeting and say, for the love of God, no overnights on 9 a.m. games. Please beg them. I'm telling you. And then last thing for you, my man, all you need to know in that league to run through it, hands up defense for 24 minutes. I yelled that for 4 straight seasons, 24 minutes straight.
You want to know what I yell? You ready? I yell energy. Energy! Energy!
Nice.
Oh, yeah. That's
Nice.
a coach right there. That's me.
I love it, man. Keep up the great work, dude.
Thanks,
I just
brother.
had to call and give you 2 pro tips.
Appreciate you. I love our girls. We have great parents. I love our girls. Love them. I got to give them all shouts, too. Do I have time to give them all shouts here? I got Kennedy. I got Ava. Got Laney. Got Izzy. Got Jersey. Got Grace. Ainsley. Love them all. All right. Pacer Hoop at the other side. See what they can do in Milwaukee tonight. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Kyle. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan. Have a great night.
Text and whatever. Just don't